I was gonna say do Super Bowl just to get it over with because I feel like it's gonna be pretty fast. I feel like it'll be pretty fast. Just like
You
get
know
it
what?
out of the
That's
way,
fair.
and then I'm saying, and then we can get. I don't want to say into the more important.
All this madness.
Hey, buddy, it's the Untitled Sickles Project. We're previewing Super Bowl 60, baby. I'm Carsausage. I'm kind of uh here. Who are you people?
I am the MaskedAura, and my only wish in life is for the Toronto Maple Leafs to not give the Boston Bruins a top 10 pick. For the love of God, please don't give Boston a top 10 pick.
I guess I'm going next. Okay. Hello. My name is Dyson Times. Um, coming in like about a few days, I will be beat writing for the Atlanta Falcons. I know that's really cool.
Ooh.
And yeah, I'm kind of just excited for Sunday. Can't wait for the
Right.
Super Bowl, and I can't wait to finally talk about hockey because I can say what I want to say about the Capitals.
You know, you know
Hell
what they say.
friendship.
Better to be a beat writer than a meat writer, right?
Oh, 100%.
True.
Mm.
That is a truth nuke right there. Hello, I am Nickman. I'm usually always on here. We got a good bit to talk about tonight, and a lot of exciting stuff happening in the sports world that deserves to be talked about. So we should just get right
Absolutely.
to it.
Yeah.
Sadly we are Bears fanless today. Well, sadly and not sadly, because that means one less Bears fan
Ooh.
be a part of this. But
Hey,
no
I'm
hate,
holding. Hey, I'm
no
holding
hate.
down. I'm holding down the fort. I'm holding down the Bears fort
Get
over here.
And
get
honestly,
better, get better Bears fan. I hope you feel better.
Yeah.
I honestly hope he's enjoying his sabbatical, and that's something that you might notice going forward is that we will start taking like mental health breaks and every now and again, because dang it, we don't get paid enough to do like every week. That is until we start the Untitled Sickos Patreon.
Which,
Hey man, I say we should get that done ASAP.
at one point to help everybody get a PS5 so we can all do a group Dynasty build. That would be fun.
It would be a lot of fun. I'll whoop all y'all asses.
I will be embarrassing when you lose to me. Ha 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 ha. Because I can't play defense.
Listen, the only time I've ever played Madden, I scored a safe. I let the other team score a safety on the first play of the game because I didn't know where my character was.
Oh no.
Some incredible
Real.
football
That
knowledge.
is
I used
very
to be a
real.
Madden sweat when I was a teenager. But then I grew up and said, playing online is for losers. I'm gonna only do franchise mode ever.
Oh, so true. Well, I never even touched. I've never just like touched MUT mode like at all. I don't. I just stick with my franchise and Dynasty, and maybe one day my dream of holy smokes, there's a connected franchise mode with Chaos League. I found a golden ticket. I've got a golden twinkle in my eye. Well, because Chris, if you don't know, something that I usually do, and I've done this with every NHL game, is I've manually randomized it, and then with that randomized roster, I've loaded up franchise mode and ran with that. And there's been some fun, crazy teams. And then one of the things that I really
This guy
like,
is getting married, folks. This guy is getting married.
yeah, that's right. I get laid.
I mean, honestly, I respect it. Like, I respect the hell out of it. Like, you
I
got
have.
someone that, I
I
mean, so you
still
got
have.
someone that can tolerate all of that. And there's nothing but respect for you.
Thank you. But no, I do randomize it. We're all in it. We all get to create custom teams because the thing that I really like what NHL did was you added up to 48 teams plus affiliates, and you get to play a full franchise league with that. It is the coolest.
That is
thing.
a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun. So if you do have a
it's
place,
actually what brought us all together.
it is. It's without
That is.
seriously. NHL 23's update where we all got to make our own teams and because it was to 48 and I'm unoriginal as fuck. Because of that, this podcast would not exist today. It's here because of EA, of all satanic rituals. We are here because of freaking EA.
Well, I
It's
mean,
like it's like getting your best friend from the army when you're in Afghanistan. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, I'm gonna say it. EA, they had. I feel like praising EA is like praising Hitler here, but like the Skate trilogy was good. I
Mm-hmm.
like Skate 4 so far.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
Madden
think
used to be good. I mean, the new NCAA games have been pretty okay. I don't think they've been too bad.
The NCAA has been like, if you're gonna look at anything that EA has done, like they have two really good versions of college football to where you really, if you're looking just to get into the NCAA series, there are two games that you can pick from, and both of them are still valid. If you're looking for like that arcade Z, you want things like nice and easy, NCAA 25 is very good for that. Very, very good. It is probably the best nice approach game if you've never done anything like recruiting wise or anything. You can do like your cheesy rebuild of I'm gonna rebuild a G6 school, and you're able to recruit like 5 stars almost immediately. You'll be able to do that immediately and still have a lot of fun with it. 26 is something where if you're looking for more of a competitive feel to college football. So that's kind of the two. It's more competitive, harder to recruit. Things are a little bit more realistic in terms of what like your builds. Like I'm in like year 8 of my Washington Husky rebuild. I can't recruit 4 or 5 stars for shit. It's maybe because I'm terrible, but I can't do it, man.
well, I
You might
mean,
be terrible. I'm not
I
gonna
might be
lie.
it really
terrible.
doesn't help that you. It really
You
doesn't
might
help
be
that
terrible.
you chew out all your players before and after the game, win or
Okay,
lose.
well, yeah.
You still.
So
Hey, it's
you're
not my fault. We've won a natty already, so it's like I don't need 5 stars. You all can go. I'll just
and
go the
you want
route
a
of.
natty with like
I'll just go the Kirk Signetti route. We don't need 5 stars to win. Although I do
yeah,
have
we're gonna buy our way in. We're gonna buy our
We're
way
gonna
to this
weigh her in.
championship, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and those
Fucking
3 stars,
Yep.
we're gonna
what did he
develop you.
say? I win games. Google me.
Oh yeah, I've said that a lot.
Man, I always first of all, another thing I'm really glad like again, it is just it is like tearing my heart out when I have to praise EA. But I am glad that they brought Team Builder back because I love making fake colleges
Mhm.
and just building them from the ground up. Like currently I have a team someplace in Washington. I forgot what they're called.
Mm.
Not Washington, Wisconsin. I forgot what they're called, but they're in the MAC,
Mm.
right? And so like getting 4 stars is like getting just trying to get 4 stars is almost impossible
See?
because well, first of all, you're Washington. You're in the Big Ten, so you should be getting 4 stars up the ass, like 4 and 5
Yeah,
stars,
that's
like
true.
easily.
Oh, the one thing though,
I'm
the
sitting
one
here in
thing
AI
that
in MAC school in Wisconsin.
you're talking about 26, right?
I'm talking about 26.
Did in the
Which I
team
do
builder, did you do
Appreciate them.
your did you
I
do
do
your
appreciate them making.
did you do your pipelines in the team builder? Because if I've
Yes.
done okay, good, because I've done pipelines with I did a create team. If you've got PlayStation Live, look up B drills, have fun, just go have fun with it. Just treasure Brett Aikman. He's never gonna leave you, and he's gonna be a superstar. I've learned that it's all about your pipelines, and I guess Washington doesn't have good pipelines for recruiting, and unless it's in California. California is always hyper competitive. That's
What's
what
gonna
I've...
be like your best pipelines is like anything in the West Coast, like California, Nevada, like all those places. So going into the East Coast is a
Yeah.
little challenging.
Yeah, that's where
I
I...
wish
Being in
we had
Wisconsin
more of-
isn't too bad.
But yeah, college
I
That's all
football,
want
let you
another
go.
Need
Go
for
ahead.
Speed game.
college football, great game. If you haven't played it already, great game, worth a try. Not super intimidating.
Please do.
Yeah.
Emulate NCAA 14 if you really, really love balling out. That game is so much fun. There's a devoted community of people in the college football revamped. If you don't want to, if you don't want to give EA $60 and play $60 for those games, get an emulator, get I forgot what it's called, get the PS3 emulator, get a ROM of legally or illegally. I'm
Mhm.
saying this because I do not want us getting sniped. Get a ROM of NCAA 14, preferably legally, and
Always.
and download College Football Revamped, because the people that work on the game do fantastic things, and I just wanted to shout them out. They've done really good. They made NCAA 14 so much fun. But I feel like we've talked about EA more than enough. We don't need to talk
Yeah.
about EA anymore. But we'll stick.
But I want to
We will
talk
stick.
about like how much I miss Burnout, dude. I
Burnout
fucking
was
miss
actually
Burnout.
super goaded. Burnout was actually super goaded. I'm not gonna hate on that. Burnout was actually extremely goaded. But we are diverting a little too far.
Yeah.
Well, not a little too far. We're on the
Yeah,
let's
we're on
just
track.
okay.
We're on track.
We are
So,
on track. We're gonna keep talking about football. So let's talk about football.
football. The big game, the biggest game of the year, the final game for 7 weeks. And then the UFL starts. So it'll be a nice break of pace. We are, a lot of what we did early on was, we looked a lot about the XFL. Best game still is the Orlando Guardians versus the Vegas Vipers. I just want the Vegas Vipers to be back, man. I want them to
Mr.
play.
Beast, bro. You want Mr. Beast.
I just want them to go back to playing in that horrible AAA baseball stadium. I would have so voided my well, that's another conversation for another day. We'll save it for the end. But anyways, Super Bowl Sunday, the biggest game of the year. Two absolute juggernauts with varying different stories, being the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. I'm going to open up with this. I don't know if this is just Eagles fans being just the saltiest cunts of the earth, or it's just the
You're probably right about that. No, you're probably right about that.
or if it's just the genuine consensus. But the thing I've been hearing going around is that this Super Bowl has got nothing to it, and I'm looking at them and I want to punch him in the face.
Is it wrong that I kind of agree to an extent? Like, the only thing that's really going for it is the Super Bowl rematch, but like none of the players from those teams are
the ultimate redemption
on
story
either
with
of these rosters.
The ultimate redemption story in Sam Darnold, is it worth it though? Sam Darnold,
I mean, super bust, yeah.
Sam
I mean, we
Darnold
all thought it was
going
a bust,
from
that whole mono
bust
thing. Like,
to a franchise-winning QB. To a franchise QB, a chance of redemption, the story of ultimate redemption. Like, the biggest thing, especially in Seahawks circles, they mix this game with the trailer of Avengers Endgame, and I so fuck with it so much because I feel like
you do, you little soy boy.
Yeah, I am a little soy boy. You're absolutely right. But like, it's so true though. At the same time, I think about often of what prevented this team from being a dynasty. I look back at that so much. I look back at that game, that one decision where they decided not to run the ball. I look at that over and over and over again. And I just can't help but when I think about it, this is so real. It's a redemption story for all of us. It is avenge the fallen Seahawks. The Seahawks who lost to the New England Patriots. Avenge the team that has fallen so we can rise again. I love this theme. This theme is so perfect. It's so perfect for this team. It's so perfect. The theme is there for Seahawks fans.
It's really, I think the reason why the Super Bowl isn't hitting as hard as the one 10 years ago is, well, first of all, this Patriots team doesn't really have a lot of, they don't have a Tom Brady. I'm just gonna just have it like that. They don't have a Tom Brady. Their playoff run itself was kind of like fraudulent. Not even kind of. Kind of
No,
is an understatement. It was It was very fraudulent. The way that they got to Super Bowl, like CJ Stroud has the worst game of his life. Um, the Chargers are the
Nickman.
Chargers. Like the you know, what's his name, Bo Nix, get like somehow breaking his ankle, and so Jared Stidham's throwing meatballs to the other team. I mean, to the Patriots. Like, yeah, it was kind of like I don't want to say they haven't been battle tested, but they really haven't been battle tested too much. The Super Bowl would be the Texans if CJ Stroud had a brain, but
I think you gotta win the
that's
games.
just
You
not how. I mean,
gotta.
that's just not the cookie.
I think
Exactly, you got to win the games that are in front of you.
you win the games that you're in
I
front
think
of
the big
you.
thing though, compared to like comparing this to like the previous time the Patriots and Seahawks faced in the Super Bowl, it's not a surprise to see the contrast considering like these are like for this Super Bowl these are two teams where it's like Seattle, went to the playoffs. They got back to the playoffs, won the division, like won the NFC West, and really just conquered the NFC. And granted, nobody was expecting that. Nobody was expecting a New England team that won 4 games last year to win 14, let alone make it to the Super Bowl. Somehow you're back here before Buffalo could ever make it, because of course that's what happens.
Lamausers.
Um, but yeah, I like you compare that. It's a hell of a storyline. But when you compare it to the previous Super Bowl between these two, like you have the evil empire going up against the defending Super Bowl champs, who have one of the greatest defenses in NFL history in the Legion of Boom. Like, you have such a massive storyline with that. Also, I think a big reason compared to that, you have to remember the whole Deflategate shit was going on right before that game was gonna happen. That shit was huge when that happened. Like, I
Mhm.
remember I
Yeah,
remember how massive, just how widespread, like, Deflategate was, going all across the board when it happened.
Another big thing that people don't talk about is that like this was their first this would have been like their first Super Bowl win chance in 10 years, and people were actually talking like Brady might hang up the cleats after this year because he wasn't doing too hot.
there were a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, there were a lot of storylines coming into that Super Bowl in 2015. Like like that. For the fact Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, they had all these names. Like they haven't been to the Super Bowl in. I mean, because this is a Patriots dynasty. This is still the Patriots dynasty, evil empire. They haven't been to the Super Bowl since the one against the Giants, with the one that they lost. They've been it's been
Mhm.
a little bit of trying times for Patriots fans, I should say. Try quote unquote trying times, but you're still making the playoffs like every year. Cry me a river. But there's a lot of storylines. Like, it was the already established evil empire and the new established evil empire, because Seattle fans were fucking annoying in 2014.
We
Like,
were, we
oh my
were.
gosh, they were
I will
ridiculously
admit, I will
obnoxious.
admit to that. Yeah, we kind of were probably like, I
Like,
think a
I
lot of
didn't
it
think it was
was
possible.
bandwagon or 12 fans, but
Oh yeah,
yeah, we
100%.
were fucking obnoxious.
It was so
Yeah,
obnoxious.
you
It
guys
was
are.
like I
We are 12, and that also described your fucking age mentally.
it
It
was
was.
so obnoxious. Like, I never thought a day in my life I would cheer for the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and I was cheering for the Patriots in that Super Bowl. Like, dead ass. The
They,
only time I ever also cheered for the Patriots in the Super Bowl, I think, was against the Eagles. But like, honestly, that was one of those Super Bowls where I wanted both teams to lose. But I
Well,
mean,
I
they gave
mean,
us a great
same
game.
here.
But
Um,
that's not. I mean,
Yeah.
but again, that's neither here or there. I think this year's Super Bowl doesn't really have. I mean, like, there are storylines for sure, for sure. Like Drake May almost winning MVP, and he's in the Super Bowl. I mean, he's in the Super Bowl, chance to win it in his second year. Sam Darnold, like, he was considered a bust. Everyone wrote him off, and then Kevin O'Connell saved his broke ass life. Um, but that's
I'm
like
just
that's kind of about it. It's just like it's two young teams, like two relatively young teams, getting to the Super Bowl, like, when their window kind of just like, literally, no, both of their windows like just opened, and they're both in the Super Bowl. I mean, which is awesome. It's cool to see a bunch of young players in the Super Bowl, but it just doesn't nearly have the mystique or storyline that the past. I want to say like,
I
damn,
don't know, man.
I haven't seen a Super Bowl like this less hyped up since like. Whew, we got it back. We got to go back a minute. Sheesh. Dang. Maybe Patriots Rams, but even Patriots Rams had the storyline because people were complaining about that the Rams shouldn't even have been there because of that quote unquote pass interference call. That was definitely
Yeah.
not pass interference. And no, that's not me being a hater to the Saints because they choked that game away. But
Granted, actually, no, I think it would be that. I think it would be that
but
Super Bowl because yeah, I just remember so much. Like was it was there was definitely like how do I say this? It felt like there was like a feeling of well, it's the Super Bowl, but also like something just feels off. And I don't think it was helped by the fact that, the game ended up being ass. Like that really did not help it.
Jared Goff
You
had a
know what else?
stinker. Brandon Cooks had an even bigger stinker.
You know,
Like
you know
Julian
what else,
Edelman won Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, that was nasty.
You know what else sucked about that game? The fucking halftime show. If you guys remember that.
Oh,
fucking
everybody
Oh,
was
yeah.
expecting
will
like
never-
goddamn Adam Levine.
I will never forgive the NFL for putting Maroon 5 in a Super Bowl halftime show in Atlanta. They should be castrated for that. Why would they do that?
Mhm.
Why?
Yeah.
Same.
We all were expecting
feels-
like
And then SpongeBob was there. For
yeah,
no
we were
reason.
expecting like them to do like sweet victory,
Sweet Victory.
and they never did.
And then they blue balled everyone. They blue balled
By-
everyone.
They gave
and
us
people
sicko
By
mode.
putting two, gave us
You
they gave us Travis Scott.
First sicko mode.
We lost.
SpongeBob was at the Super Bowl
Oh
for
my
no
God.
reason.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah,
definitely
it was-
a time to be alive.
I mean, I understand like preparation and
Really.
everything, but man, that did
Also, it's
not-
really
it also
funny.
didn't
It's
help that that
honestly-
Super
it's
Bowl was
honestly-
awful.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's funny we're having this debate considering I do remember and granted it was funny seeing their teeth get kicked in, but I just remember also going back to last year, having this debate where it's like, man, Eagles and Chiefs again. Who's ready for
Yeah.
this?
Well,
And then you get
I
something,
gotta be honest.
Oh, you can go ahead, Spencer.
I think part
Granted,
of the
I
reason
also
I'm-
think some of the bitching. I do think some of the bitching is also there's Eagles fans which they will do whatever the hell they do, but also I also think there's there will always be some annoying ass discourse from this postseason because the Chiefs aren't here, and it's that alone causes such an annoying discourse when you just see motherfuckers on Twitter just talking about that, and it's like, okay, man, you just let it go. The time has passed.
People-
Just let it go.
People are actually saying that. People are actually mad that the Chiefs aren't here. That team's fucking ass. They sucked. If they made the playoffs, they would have got killed. They sucked. No, we don't need the
Yeah.
damn Chiefs here. I think these playoffs were
don't
awesome.
need
them.
Especially the wild card round. I thought the wild card round was awesome.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Good year for
Kinda fell off.
playoffs.
I kind of fell off after that, but
I think part of it is part of the reason I'm not excited is because, as always, I got sour grapes about Sam Darnold's arc as a Vikings fan because the discourse there has just gone completely nuclear. Now everybody's because people wanted the Vikings to give up on a rookie quarterback who hadn't even played yet. Because oh my god, why didn't Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah have pry open his third eye, man? And it's like,
Yeah.
to be fair, that bum couldn't draft. So
What was okay? So there was they had 2 first rounders when they drafted JJ McCarthy. Who was the other guy that they drafted?
Dallas
Dallas
Turner.
How is Dallas?
Who's okay?
Turner?
He's pretty good.
Okay.
He's pretty good. He's not better
He's
than.
grown into his own.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, he's learning. He's not better than the Latu or Jared Verse. That's the sad part.
Or
but-
Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy had a great year.
or
this year.
Byron Murphy. He's better than the other Murphy though. That the one on the Bengals. He sucks.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Bengals also can't draft. So, but that's beside.
But yeah,
He was from
maybe
Clemson, but it doesn't matter.
there are rumors right now that the Vikings could get their old vice president of player personnel, George Payton, back, and I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Because
I can
I really
understand.
like the work he's done with the Broncos.
I can completely understand why you feel that way. The reason I'm not like the most excited for the Super Bowl. Like I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm more excited. Okay, I'll preface that by saying I'm definitely more excited about this Super Bowl than last year's Super Bowl. Like last year's Super Bowl was just completely insufferable because it was either we were gonna see Eagle fans get validated or Chiefs fans get validated, and that is literally like choosing between Hitler or Stalin. So this one is much better. To I don't want to say much better. It's better to a lesser extent. I think it's two fan bases that like don't really deserve anything, like being so dead ass, but like they deserve more. I will say they deserve more than the Patriots. And I'm not the Patriots. They deserve more than the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Patriots. Maybe not the Patriots, but like the Seahawks fans, I think they deserve more than the Chiefs and the Eagles. And also I just think like both teams are relatively likable too. I don't think there's any real unlikable player like people on either team. I mean, aside from the Patriots, because Patriots are like they have two sexual assaulters on their team, which is ridiculous. Not sexual assaulters, but like abusers on their team.
Mm-hmm.
And also
Yeah.
I don't like Josh McDaniels. It's actually ridiculous that he won an award for Executive of the Year. Literally, how and
Assistant
why?
of the year, man.
Eh,
Like he's a good assistant,
I
but
said
like,
executive assistant
what
of the
do
year.
you what does
He was the
what does
best
he
one.
excel at? Does he like?
No.
Do I look at Josh McDaniels as someone that goes, man, he really gets my fucking Starbucks order right? Is that all he's fucking good for?
Like, he really
Um,
won Assistant of the Year over a guy like Jesse Minter. Like you see that Chargers defense and the way that Jesse Minter
or
did for
Brian
that
Flores
Chargers
or
defense.
Jim Schwartz. Since you guys want to
Oh, they're
play some
bad
rounds
teams, and
right
they're not
now.
going to do that. I don't understand why they gave it to Josh McDaniel when their offense was kind of just like whatever for some parts of the season, and especially in the playoffs, they've been quite. Let's be honest, they've been quite terrible. Aside from the Houston game where they were okay,
Mm-hmm.
but they've been really bad offensively the entire playoffs. But I mean, the award was voted for at week 18, but even then, still, like, how the hell does he win that? Um, but enough about the storylines. Let's just get into our predictions. I'm just gonna be completely frank, as you can already tell. I think the Seahawks are gonna beat the Patriots pretty handily. I don't think the Patriots match up well at all in the slightest against Seattle. I think they're outmatched defensively, offensively. The only thing that's comparable is definitely coaching, which could play a factor. But if Sam Darnold just limits the not even limits the turnovers, if Sam Darnold just keeps playing like he's been playing throughout the entire playoffs, I think this Super Bowl is going to be like probably like a 10 point, 13 point, like double digit win for the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks
Mm-hmm.
handily win this game.
I do pick the Seahawks on this one. I think this game is gonna be very close at half. I think it's gonna be one of the ones where I think the score could probably be like something like New England 10, Seattle 9. This might be one of those games where you got Seattle really trying to figure things out. They've been able to move the ball, yes, but it's not in an uber convincing fashion. I do. What I really like is I think defensively they'll be able to hold Drake May down in the first half. And I think what's going to help Seattle separate apart from New England is their halftime adjustments. I think Seattle this year, they've been proven to be one of the better teams to adjust at halftime. And the more you are to adjust at halftime, I find the better you are as a unit when you look at things and go, maybe things aren't quite working here. Okay, maybe let's try this instead. And I think that has helped the Seahawks a lot this year, and I expect that to help them in this game. This is a team that, under Coach Mike McDonald, he's got the locker room, which is fucking huge. That you've got the locker room, you've got you've got the team you got the team that's going to fight for Darnold, and they have his back. And when your team has his back like Darnold has, yeah, you are going to be just fine indeed. So I have the Seahawks. I think, especially one of the things that really helped last week's game, the AFC Championship game, NFC Championship game. That was the game that sold it. That was the game that kind of sold it for me, where I'm like, oh my god, we have a franchise quarterback. Because, for me, the biggest thing my biggest gripe with the Seahawks is been, because it's felt for like the longest time, where the most important position being the quarterback has been one of those ones where you've been wondering the abyss. I will thank Geno Smith for what he has done for Seattle. I really do. I seriously, a big thank you to Geno Smith for being the QB of the team in a situation where, you're kind of being the leader in a team of transition. And the fact that Seattle almost upset the Niners were really close. It may not have looked like it, but they were really close at upsetting the Niners in the wild card weekend when Geno Smith was the QB. They were very close. They had the lead. It's just the entire scheme just fell apart. And even then, Geno Smith has still stood tall in Seattle. It's just that, sometimes it's unfortunate, as it does happen from time to time, where just things don't work out. And with Geno Smith in Seattle, it got to the point in time where it's like, man, I don't think this is going to work out. We're probably going to have to go, our separate ways in the offseason. But I will always thank Geno for what he did in Seattle. He steered the ship at a time where we really needed someone to steer the ship. And now that, what Sam Darnold has done, the fact that Darnold doesn't quit, he doesn't shrink. He could have easily, after the first several games, been such a defeatist where it's like, man, I fucking suck, and maybe I shouldn't be a quarterback. To look at him now. He is on the verge of winning a Super Bowl. The greatest redemption story in all of sports is upon us, and I can't wait to see the outcome of the Super Bowl. I am excited. I think this means a lot, because ever since, you see your urinating trees, your Squid Tart Sports, your 5 Points, your Pernas, your Tom Grossies, you always felt like you wanted your team to, win it all, And the fact that our time is upon us I could not be more excited than I am right now to witness what has happened in Seattle. And I can't wait. I'm excited for a good one. My message to the current Seahawks that are there: avenge us. Avenge the fallen. Avenge. Avenge the decision where they should have ran it. Avenge the team. Avenge their past failures. And we'll party in Seattle when they're done.
Everybody keeps saying that the Patriots are so weak. They have the offensive firepower of a piss weapon. Okay, beat them. Beat them.
I agree.
You haven't. I don't think this. Where's your AFC trophy? Where were you in the playoffs? Huh? I don't think this is. I don't think the Seahawks win this. I legitimately think that the Patriots win this. Whether that, and it'll be like, people are gonna be mad at me because it'll be like the dynasty all over again. But really, think about it. This is a team that we talk about sometimes. Defense wins championships. I don't think people truly understand what that means for the Patriots. It means yeah, you can bring a good stop there. No, a good defense is where you drag the opposing offense into the mud and you get people fired. Fired. Look at the mess they made of the LA Chargers. They got pretty much everybody on the offensive side of the ball gone. The fucking Texans, garbage. Broncos, guess what? Joe Lombardi's finally gone from Denver. Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be a defensive slog, and New England's going to come out on top. And question. My big question is it going to be like a canine fumble for ironic punishment, or is it going to be Sam Darnold seeing ghosts again?
Ooh.
I'm gonna push back a little on this because I think matchups are very important, right? In all sports, matchups are very important. And I've said this in the playoffs a lot, and I was only wrong once. And the only reason why I was wrong is because of CJ Stroud being CJ Stroud. Now, is there a chance that Sam Darnold could CJ Stroud on Sunday? Yes, very much. That is very much something that could happen where he could give the Patriots a free Super Bowl win. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I think that the Seahawks have a much smarter offensive mind than whoever the hell is in Houston. I think their personnel is better than the Texans' offensive personnel by a long shot. They have a better offensive line, better running back, better weapons room in general, just better, almost damn near better everything. And that was probably the Patriots' like hardest game, even though they won that game by double digits. That was their hardest game because they just could not handle they could not handle the Texans defense. And now they're facing a defense that is on, I don't want to say on par because that Texans defense was the best in the NFL, but it is up there with one of the best defenses they're going to face. And they have and the Seahawks have the offensive firepower to boot. I just can't see the Patriots realistically being able to just bang, just go band for band, like for lack of a better term, with the Seahawks. I don't see it. I just think like if you just look at the offensive matchup versus the defensive matchup, I don't know how the Patriots are going to be able to move the ball when they've had fits all playoff long with good front fours, and they're going to face another good front four. So I don't think Drake May is going to move the ball as well as he usually does. He's also facing probably the best secondary he's faced all playoffs. You can argue maybe the Texans, but I think this is probably the best secondary that he's going to face the entire playoffs. This is the defense is just a complete unit, and Mike McDonald is still like one hell of a like defensive mind. But I really think what pushes the Seahawks over the edge is just their offense, and I think this is easily by far and away the best offense that the Patriots are going to have to go up against. That they've gone up against probably all season long. This is probably the best offense they faced. And I just don't see a way that they're gonna like stop JSN. I don't see how they're gonna be able to stop K9. They have, the Seahawks still have like two other good receivers. I think that Rashid Shaheed could make a big statement for this during this game too. I mean like I get where you're coming from saying like, oh, this Patriots and blah blah, like and so on and so forth. But I just think that matchups matter, and I think the Patriots just simply either team that made it out of the NFC Championship, they were going to match up pretty poorly into. Ironically, I think they match up a little better into Seattle. I mean, a little better into Seattle than the Rams. But I feel like that Rams and Seahawks NFC Championship was the actual Super Bowl because whoever wins that game is gonna win this game. I firmly believe the Seahawks are gonna just. I think they're just gonna handle business. I think they're gonna handle business on Sunday. I just don't see how the Patriots. I just don't see how the Patriots bang with them.
Honestly, the real thing I'm looking forward to is seeing all all the white people freak out about Bad Bunny.
I can't wait for I think the halftime show is something that, like, the sickening part of me is I'm most looking forward to.
This is the most woke. This is the most woke Super Bowl halftime show we've had in a long time. I can't
I
really
am
say that
ready
because, like,
for
literally, like 3 years, like not 3, like 4 years ago, we had a super woke Super Bowl halftime show. So what am I talking about?
We're gonna get the best Super Bowl halftime show. I'm so ready for just so many people to be.
I don't know. Best Super Bowl halftime show. That's a pretty high bar because you have to remember, last year Kendrick Lamar literally called Drake a pedophile in front of a national television crowd.
That wasn't woke. That was just funny.
I'm so proud of that man. I'm so proud of that man for what he did.
I love you, K Dot. I love you, K Dot. This man is allergic to not being in Super Bowls.
I am really excited to see what's going to happen because, more importantly,
also, very funny you say that. It's very
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say it's very funny because it's very funny seeing everyone cry about Bad Bunny, considering, like, by technicality, Bad Bunny's already been in a Super Bowl halftime show. He's technically already been here before, so it's really funny.
Nowhere to go but up for him, I say.
It's gonna be lit. I don't care. This Super Bowl halftime show is 100% gonna be lit, and Green Day's gonna be there too.
Oh, please play American. If they please play American Idiot,
so good.
Please play American Idiot. I need this in my veins. I want to be sitting with the fucking popcorn and then
hopeful it's gonna be.
Awaiting Trump's true socialist to be good.
Yeah,
folks, you really need to turn to Turning West American Super Bowl halftime show.
The Charlie Kirk Memorial halftime show.
I hope they do Charlie.
I'm really hopeful. I will say I'm hopeful for the halftime show because I will say this in terms of production. What I've seen for these halftime shows, usually NBC usually has like some of the best production for the halftime shows because I've noticed that NBC usually when they cover the halftime shows, like they're usually at the top of their game when they're covering these Super Bowl halftime shows. I only say that. Like, the only reason I'm saying that is because I feel like, and I'm not the only one who felt this, but I really feel like Fox kind of let Kendrick down last year because their production was ass.
Yeah.
The production was not good. Matter of fact, the production for the Super Bowl as a whole was really bad, from the score bug and everything. That is one of the worst score bugs I've ever seen in my life.
I was so depressed when I saw that.
They had AI. They had AI with it. I was like, this is the most Fox thing. But like, honestly, it was the most Fox thing that they could have done. Like, if we're being completely honest. Like, that's just so.
It's so embarrassing how true that is. That was soulless. Oh,
and honestly, the new Fox score bug is it's clean. It's okay. It's just missing like what makes Fox Fox. Like I don't know. It's.
I will say something like that. At least something that
it's not bad. It's
growing up. I really loved watching football on Fox over CBS. Like Fox was way ahead.
Opposite for me.
From like the early 2010s era. I always enjoyed Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I would get up early to watch Terry Bradshaw, Michael Strahan, Kurt Menefee, Howie Long, and who the fuck is the coach of the Cowboys? What's his face?
Johnson.
Whatever the coach is. Jimmy Johnson.
I don't know Jimmy Johnson.
Sorry, the name just didn't come to me right away. Like, watching all of them together in the same... They had such... Like, their chemistry together was so good. It was so amazing how everybody just meshed so well with everybody else. They did such a good job together. They were absolutely amazing. And it's one of the things that stood out, but I look at Fox now and I'm like, there's no push for me to watch their previews, honestly.
I gotta be honest, football was never much of a concern when I was a kid because you have to remember, I was always in the market of the Detroit Lions, so nobody gave a shit about football at that point because all they did for years was fucking lose. And we'd
Yeah,
always get like the
that's true.
shittiest B team possible. Like it'd be like some dude with a horrible speech impediment, and then his partner would be some third stringer who played on like I don't know the fucking
But
Houston Oilers or something.
Jesus Christ, I don't know. I really liked watching CBS because I always thought that their score bugs were better than Fox's. There's like only one time I thought their score bug was worse, and that was the one that they revealed for the Ravens and 49ers Super Bowl. I like the concept of it. I just hate that when team and this is just me having like, an ADHD moment and an ADD moment. But like when a team scores like a touchdown, I expect to see I expect to see, touchdown and then the team colors, but no, Fox was no CBS was like, you're gonna get the touchdown graph. You're gonna get the team's color on the you're gonna only get the team's color when you see that team. The touchdown thing is just gonna be like this blue Madden 13 looking ass thing. And I was like, this is ruining my ADHD brain. I'm glad that they fixed it during Super Bowl 50. It was so much better. I thought Super Bowl 50's score bug was great. CBS usually doesn't miss with their score bugs though. They probably have my favorite score bugs ever.
Well,
Um,
it it probably helps that CBS happens to have all of Viacom in their pocket, so they can pull talent from places like Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, or any of those guys.
and Fox has Donald Trump. But it's the same thing with NBC. I think NBC also never ever misses with their score bugs.
My
Phil-
favorite
Agreed.
is still the one that they introduced after Super Bowl 52. That will always be my favorite.
that one is
scoreboard.
so good. It's so good. They shouldn't have
So
changed it.
good.
I mean, because the one they had, it was like the one they changed it to when it was the Rams and the Bengals. It was good, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that one from 52. That one is the best score bug they've ever released, in my honest opinion. The new one that they have I think is pretty good too. I need to
Yeah.
see it a little. I need to see it a little more because like I've only seen like I feel like two touchdowns from it.
Oh, here's another one. I hope to God the Super Bowl is Chris Collinsworth's final game.
Please. Please, can it be Chris Collinsworth?
Listen,
I am
Monkey's
done
Paw.
with this
Monkey's
man.
Paw. It's his final game, but it's only his final game on Sunday Night Football or on NBC, and Amazon hires him.
No!
Hey man, I get that. What's really cool, I mean, the good news is we get to hear Mike Tirico. Mike Tirico's great.
True.
Yeah,
Tirico's good.
I
love
legitimately hope that I think it would be super cool if the next package was Mike Tirico and Mike Tomlin. I think
That would be really funny.
Yeah.
All black. I like it.
I have one thing to rant about the Super Bowl, but before that, I want to give my predictions because I still have to give my Super Bowl prediction. But
Just about to say that.
yeah, I do agree with what Spencer said about this is probably going to be like a defensive slog because these are two fantastic defenses, and you put them together in the game. It's like, you're probably gonna get that. It's going to probably take a while before I think we see some offense. I think it will take a while for both these teams to adjust, probably after halftime, which is how these Super Bowls usually, for the most part, go. But I think overall, it's like I'm expecting this to be close until the fourth quarter. I think the fourth quarter, I'm expecting Seattle to pull away and just be too much for New England. Because all due respect to New England and what they've been able to do to get to this point, Seattle is the best team they've had to play. And it's just in terms of like matchups, like the Seahawks, I felt like the Rams were the best matchup against them, and they beat them. They beat the Rams.
Yeah.
And for someone like the Patriots, it's like, this is the best team you're facing. Like, one of the best defenses you've had to play, and granted, I know they have played some strong defenses in the playoffs, which I will say that for New England, but obviously, going up against the Seahawks defense is obviously no easy task whatsoever. I really think the big issue I have with New England is the Seahawks for this Seahawks defense, this is easily the worst O-line that they are having to face because the Patriots O-line just still has many issues, and granted, it's gonna be a work in progress, but, like, for what Seattle has had to face, the Patriots O-line is easily the worst O-line they've had to face, and I feel like they're gonna have a lot of problems
Mhm.
against the Seahawks. They're gonna have a lot of problems trying to protect Drake May, and honestly, I think another thing is, like, Drake May's gonna have Drake May's great, but he's for this postseason, he's definitely looked shaky. He's looked really shaky, and I really think the Seahawks defense are gonna use that to their advantage because they know they've seen what Drake May's done this postseason, and they realize really quickly, okay, it is very easy to get to him and get him out of his comfort zone. And if we're able to do that, we're going to be in great shape because as long as the Seahawks offense plays a respectable game, does what they got to do, and all that good stuff, it's going to be a massive, massive challenge for the Patriots to have to overcome that. And I think for me with New England going into this, I feel like on offense, this team's gotta be able to run the football because if they can't run the football, they're in for a very long day, and I know damn well Seattle knows that if we stop them on the ground, if we make Drake May extremely uncomfortable, we're gonna win this game because in that if that happens, Seattle just needs to do the bare minimum on offense, and they'll be able to do that, and to the credit of the Seahawks offense, Sam Darnold's done everything he needs to do this postseason, and I think he understands all I gotta do is get this ball to my guys, get it to JSN, get it to a Shaheed or a Cooper Cup. Hell, get it to a Jake Bobo, because why not? Um,
Bo, and so on.
We're
Bobo,
gonna get a
Yeah.
Bobo
Bobo.
touchdown. We're gonna
Untitled
get a
Yeah,
Bobo
single. Hey,
touchdown.
you know
we
how
love that. We need that.
mm-hmm. Jake Bobo is an Untitled Sickle Project fan favorite. We are all fans of Jake Bobo.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We stand at Jake
But,
Bobo.
yeah, I definitely just looking at how they've gotten here, looking at these rosters, and just looking at the teams in general, I just think Seattle's the more complete team, and
Mhm.
it will be close for a while, but the Seahawks, they're gonna be too much for this Patriots team, and they will pull away in the 4th quarter to their 2nd Super Bowl victory.
Yeah.
I cannot agree more, and I really do like what you said. I wholeheartedly agree with everything you said. Honestly, I think there's a very good chance that like Seattle could blow this game open like in the third quarter even.
That's where
If like
things stand.
if they have the correct if they if they have the correct like halftime adjustments, I think they can blow this door open in the third quarter. Because I'm very curious to see what the Patriots do if like what I expect Seattle to do is come in with a heavy box. Because I don't think they're going to respect that passing game. They're not going to. I mean, I don't want to say respect. Like they're gonna challenge the Patriots to really pass the ball because they're gonna. I feel like that's what Mike McDonald's gonna do. He's gonna say you're gonna pass the ball because you're not Matthew Stafford. You don't have a Puka Nakua. You don't have a Devonte Adams. You don't even have a Kyron Williams. As much as I do like
Mhm.
as much as I do like Travion Henderson, and I think Ramondre Stevenson's a good running back. You don't have a Kyron Williams. You don't have the Rams offensive line. You don't have the Rams offensive weapons. And if we can beat that Rams team, we can go in. We can make Drake May's life a living hell, like we did with Brock Purdy. Because I feel like that's pretty similar. I feel like they're pretty similar. Like I feel like the 49ers and the Patriots have very similar like ish offenses where there isn't like it's not super talented, but they're good. Like I mean, of course, aside from Christian McCaffrey, but like the at least like weapons room wise and receiver wise, they're not like super talented, and they can't like so they're not going to be able to like really move the ball as much. And I think Seattle's just going to have like the same kind of game that they did against the 49ers.
I think you're sleeping
Yeah,
on Stephon
that
Diggs
would not
there.
surprise me. Yeah, well, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because granted, I could say I am saying that I think this will be close until the fourth quarter. But if I watch the game and I see Rashid Shaheed return an opening kickoff for a touchdown, I know what game we're in for.
And I will be laughing my ass off the entire time. Yeah.
By the way,
I-
actually no, go ahead, Spencer.
I'm sorry, but the irony of a Bears fan saying that, I'm just saying, dude.
Yeah,
You
I
literally
know.
had the same thing happen with Devin Hester.
That is true. But granted, I don't think Sam Darnold is Rex Grossman, so I think
Yeah, I was about
they
to say
should be
that. Yeah, I don't think
okay in
Sam
that
Darnold's
aspect.
Sam Donald's our Rex Grossman. They have it, and I don't think there's a single Bears receiver that is even up to snuff with even Cooper Kupp. I don't even think they had a receiver that was as good as Cooper Kupp on that team, let alone
Bernard
Jackson
Marion.
Smith and Jigba.
Yeah,
Yeah,
granted,
let alone Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, I will say, also with all due respect to Drake May, he still needs more seasons before I will call him Peyton Manning. He still needs more seasons before I call him that. But
Because he hasn't
I
been
just wanted
impressive
to,
in the playoffs. Like, let's be honest.
yeah, that is true. One thing I wanted to rant though about the Super Bowl, and this is just something I've noticed over the years, and it's just I did retweet something about it, but like one of the common things with Super Bowls has always been like commercials, and I gotta say, the trend of showing these commercials like before the Super Bowl ever actually happens, like even like weeks or so before the Super Bowl actually
Why?
happens. Like, why are you doing this? This is killing Super Bowl commercials. Like, it's killing the mystique of Super Bowl commercials, and it's been killing it for years now.
Yeah. I like
Oh,
the fun thing is like the mystery of like what you don't know what you're gonna get. Like I really like movie trailers when they're on. You get like a nice movie trailer spot of like a big movie that's gonna happen in the summer box office. Like you might get some Avengers stuff. Probably not. We're not gonna get anything on the Avengers. I thought we were. Probably that's okay. But like stuff of what cool movies are coming.
I see like a Jurassic Park commercial. It's like, oh hey, that's cool. Oh great, it's being released a week before the Super Bowl. That's nice, I guess.
That's our Super Bowl halftime spot, kiddies. Hey, that's not how we do business.
hey man,
Gotta lock in.
Were so occupied with whether or not you could, you didn't stop and think whether or not you should.
True.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good news. We are getting the Pokemon 30th anniversary commercial during the Super Bowl, which I just assume is probably going to be like I just assume it's going to be like the 20th anniversary where it's just like, oh yeah, Pokemon's cool. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I hope we get a Sonic one. We won't, but I hope we get a Sonic one because it's also their 35th anniversary. Persona. Whoa. No, I'm just kidding. It's Japan. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. But
maybe there'll be maybe I'm the fool, but maybe we'll get Elder Scrolls. I'm who am I kidding? We're gonna get Elder Scrolls 5.
No man, you don't get it, bro. 30 years of Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. So true.
No disrespect, but you're all. No disrespect, and I don't mean to be rude, but you are literally owned by Activision.
Oh, that's well, never mind. That counters that ruins everything.
Crash Bandicoot owned by Activision, which is owned by Microsoft, who is based in Seattle, and one of their important people is Jody Allen, who owns the Seahawks, who are in the Super Bowl.
Not anymore.
So,
well, okay, that's okay. Let's talk about this. Here's how. This is how I talked to Spencer about this. I've talked to other people about this. This is what I imagined what happened. Somebody goes up to Seattle, remembers, oh yeah, Paul Allen left his daughter instructions to sell the team. Right? And then somebody goes and says, hey, if you were to sell this team, how much would it be for? I think, I don't know, it might be the 6 to 7 million price range. Breaking news from Adam Scheffner! Seahawks for sale at 6 to 7 million! Sorry, billion. And I'm like, God damn it, this is such a New England tactic. This is the Patriots getting in the way of my Seahawks, and they need to fuck off. That's my conspiracy theory.
You do not have a Robert Kraft, unfortunately. I mean, well, fortunately too, because Robert Kraft's a piece of shit. So whatever. I feel like that's enough Super Bowl talk for now. We'll see what happens during the game.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something that happened.
NBA trade deadline, because I don't know
yesterday, 2 days ago. We've had
I
some insane things happen on the NBA trade deadline.
I don't know much about the NBA trade deadline, but I will let the NBA trade deadline, the NBA experts talk about the NBA trade deadline.
Oh man, what a horrible day to be. What a horrible day to be a Milwaukee Bucks fan. What a horrible day to be a Memphis Grizzlies fan. Honestly, what a horrible day to also be a Golden State Warriors fan, because they got rid of Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield for literally nothing.
Also the Sixers too. I feel like they had a pretty shitty deadline too.
Why in the world did they trade Jared McCain? That is such a weird trade for a guy you literally drafted a year ago. He gets hurt. He doesn't play as good because he's still trying to get into the groove of getting back into the NBA. I mean, into an NBA court, and you're like, you know what? He's one of our young guys. Let's fucking trade him. Like, what are you doing? I don't know what the 76ers are ever thinking.
As a fan of the Milwaukee Bucks, I wanted to be put out of my misery with the whole Giannis situation, but nope, gotta keep going until the off season, baby.
But Spencer, it's Polymarket Sports. Polymarket Sports got in such the way here. It's so annoying that yet there's like, I saw the episode with South Park where they did this whole thing where Will Kyle's mom bombed Palestine or something, and they did this whole prediction market.
Bomb Gaza.
They did this whole like fucking nonsense thing, and like I got introduced then to like Polymarket, and I was like, oh, so there's a platform that enables gambling on simple yes or no things, such as will Donald Trump say 6-7 or something. So I was like, oh, cool. We got another platform for the absolute gambling degenerates of the world. Huh. I see. Fucking wonderful. And then I hear this...
Yeah, fitting you say that.
I hear this big thing where... I bet there was a lot of bets on people who were putting money in for... will Giannis be traded? Simply yes or no. And then realizing that, oh yeah, he's not being traded away at all. And seeing how a lot of people had put money into it. Worth, like, was it like millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into whether or not he was going to be traded. Now just fucking gone. And I'm like, why do you people fall for this? Like, I have made it apparent to make sure that anything that's associated with Polymarket or Keshi, if they have that tag in their description, I am blocking you. You are clickbait. You are trying to manipulate the prediction market so that way you can get a bigger payout, because I bet your bitch ass knows what's going on.
Oh my. Well, they clearly didn't.
Yeah, and it's very fitting. Very fitting we say that. Very fitting we say that because Just today, Giannis announced he's a shareholder of Kalshi now.
Yep, he sure is.
Huh.
God damn it. God damn it.
Huh.
Why can't I ever be happy with my sports teams? Why?
You
Your team won
don't
an NBA championship
say.
like 4 or 5 years ago. You'll be okay.
Oh my! Like why is everything like honestly like my perception with the NBA is in the fucking toilet as is, right? It's my opinion of it is very negative, very negative.
I still think it's I still think it's funny that it's still like probably better run than the MLB right now.
I want to say yes. I really wanted to say no to that, but you're probably right because guess what? Apparently Mano Clase was tipping pitches on for 47 games over 2 years, and then when I heard that, I'm like, oh dear God, can we please get this shit out of my fucking sports? It's so obnoxious. I'm okay for winner.
They're gonna lose the fight to.
Like, I'm okay for like winning and losing, right? You win or you lose. You pick one or the other, right? You pick one. You pick the winning team. You can parlay that. I'm okay with that, right? You can do all that shit. But the fucking second they started putting these fucking prop bets, I bet you the sanctity of the sport is fucking gone. It's done. It's no more.
It is.
The purity and preservation of sports watching as a whole is fucking done. And the sad thing is
watching sports now. Watching sports.
And I shouldn't, right? Like, what is this whole nonsense of the fact that I can put something in a fucking parlay, and if it hits, like, you got people who there was this big NBA busting scandal that happened, and I'm like, oh dear God, my perception of the NBA is just if I wasn't for the NBA now, then I'm not gonna be for it, later on, because this whole shit is such a big black eye to the sport, and the fact that
of course it just makes
like, I bet you there's gonna be something where Marner and Matthews were paid to take a dive for. I bet you they were paid to take a dive in the playoffs. There could be a report that they could be busted for that, and I'd be like, I fucking knew it.
No, I think they're just naturally that soft.
Yeah, I know. I just let it cope, damn it. But but the point still relatively stands. How I think a lot of people gotta wisen up, and the fact that a lot of this is running it's just so rampant right now. And I feel like I do want like where I look at like Congress for like we gotta put a fucking foot down on this. But yet it's something to where, maybe a lot of people are making money off of it, and I can't shame them for it. It's just, dang it. I remember when back in my day
I can. It's an exploitative industry, and
gambling's always
no
been.
offense to Nickman, I don't feel comfortable supporting that kind of stuff, like that hardcore gambling stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
It's really funny. We're talking about this, considering that just today, Yasiel Puig was found guilty for basically like obstruction of justice and lying to federal agents in an illegal sports gambling probe. So yeah, shout out to Yasiel Puig.
Wasn't he on the Cubs forever ago?
Oh, okay.
I know he was on the Dodgers for the longest time. I know he was on the Reds for a bit.
He was on the Reds for a little bit. But enough about gambling. We're going to talk about this NBA.
Let's get the trades, because I can
the only thing I will say is the only thing I'll say about the Milwaukee Bucks. I hope that they win the draft lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. The only
Oh,
reason
you're
I'm saying
hoping?
that,
Yeah.
I hope that the Bucks win the draft lottery. They shouldn't.
What?
I hope they win the draft lottery this year.
Wait a second. Is it because we traded our pick to Atlanta or
Yeah, oh, no, yeah,
Washington?
absolutely, yes, yeah, that's why. No, yeah, absolutely, that's good because we have we have the we have a pick swap with you guys. Like if you guys win the draft lottery, we win the draft lottery actually, and we get AJ DeBanso or Cameron Boozer, not you guys. You guys don't have a first round pick this year, which sucks. But I mean, you do, but it's a pick swap. So good luck, soldier.
Well, I mean, I honestly quit giving a shit about. I
All right, but
think
let's get.
somewhere around last year I quit giving a shit about Milwaukee.
All right, but let's get into these trades. The things that actually happened aside from the things that didn't happen. I feel like we should start off with the 1-for-1 trade. I was gonna say Kevin Garland, Darius Garland for James Harden. How are you guys feeling about that trade?
Stereotypically,
It came out of
is it?
nowhere.
Is it? It felt like another one of those. Oh boy, surely James Harden will work out somewhere. But I think we're beyond past that. That's just my from my.
No, he was working out with the Clippers.
Alright.
No,
I
he was
I
working out.
still
No, he was working with the Clippers. It's just that the Clippers like had such a horrible start to their season that it was they kind of dug themselves in the hole that they can't get out of, and so they kind of blew their team up, which I honestly disagree with. I think they should have kept that team the way it was. Just like give it a year and then you move on from people in the offseason. I wouldn't have given up on it now, especially since you don't have your first round picks. So it's gonna be Kawhi Leonard and Darius Garland's team. They got rid of we'll get to the Zubac trade later as well. But
Yeah, I wasn't gonna.
honestly,
I would
I
say if I was the Clippers, I wouldn't give up only because it's like, well, you were winning a lot of games as of late, and it's like, you're trying not to, you're trying not to give a certain team a strong pick here. You're trying not to give them a
just came
strong
off of
pick
yeah, that
here.
just came off of an NBA championship, a strong pick here. I don't know why they decided to move on from James Harden, especially for Darius Garland, who's just James Harden, except like significantly worse.
I don't know. I always
Um,
this is gonna sound stupid, but I always pictured James Harden as being like the Aaron Rodgers of the NBA because both of them seem horribly unlikable. Both of them chased away their original team, and both of them uh, you know, flop super hard and still get the calls anyway.
I see where you're coming from, but at the same time, Aaron Rodgers has a ring, and James Harden does not have a ring. So that is where they differentiate. I think this is really good for Cleveland in a few areas and pretty bad for Cleveland in some areas because getting James Harden it definitely increases their ceiling, but I think that their championship window kind of I mean, well, to be fair, like their championship window was going to be with um Donovan Mitchell. So like honestly, I think that the Cavaliers ended out of this trade as gangbusters. They cooked so hard in this trade, especially if it was just a 1-for-1 for Darius Garland, who's like just so inconsistent with his play. And maybe he'll work on maybe he'll work on the Clippers. Maybe he'll figure it out on the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard, who I'm also genuinely surprised that they didn't move on from during the trade deadline because you're getting rid of two of your stars and you're keeping Kawhi Leonard. Why? Don't know. Clippers are ran by a bunch of idiots. But we all knew that, especially with Donald Sterling being a previous owner. That franchise is cursed.
Yeah,
But I
I,
think
Who
I think the
knows?
Cavaliers claim. I think the Cavaliers came out of this clear winners. You get James Harden
agreed.
you get James Harden in an extremely weak East. And if the Pistons are the best team in that conference, then I think that I think the Cavaliers can be up there easily as one of the best, especially since they were kind of just floundering a little. I mean, floundering for most of the season. Well, for their standards, I should say they're still a top four seed, but they were floundering a little bit. But hopefully they can get back on track. Get up there, get to near the 1-2 seed, face one of the playing teams, and absolutely cook them and just destroy them and dismantle them in the playoffs, and get ready for a team like the Knicks or Boston or the I don't know. Get to the ECF for finally.
Mm-hmm.
The next trade.
So
Oh, go ahead.
you talked about how the Bucks have I believe it's the Wizards have the Bucks pick.
No, the Hawks have the Hawks have the Bucks pick.
Oh, in that case, this is kind of completely irrelevant to that point. What the fuck are the Wizards doing?
Oh no, this was a great trade for them. Let's just get into it. So essentially, so the Wizards and the Mavericks made a trade where the Wizards sent off. Where the Wizards sent off AJ Johnson, Chris Middleton, Marvin Bagley III, 2 first-round picks in exchange for Dante Exum, who's never gonna play. What's his name? Used to be on the Lakers. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name.
D'Angelo Russell?
D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, D'Lo. Yeah, thank you, D'Lo. D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Davis to the Wizards. Everyone saw those 2 first-round picks and like, oh, what are the Wizards doing? And then you remember that those 2 first-round picks are the Thunder's pick from this year, which is either going to be in the high 20s or like 30. And then that other pick was a Warriors top 20 protected 2030 pick, and it's top 20 protected, so like who cares? Legitimately, who cares? So they essentially got Anthony Davis for Chris Middleton. And if you think about it, Nico Harrison traded Luka Doncic for Chris Middleton. What a time to be alive.
Okay, because I was very well aware of like the trade and like the context of that. When I look at this, like the trade that when they traded away Anthony Davis and they got Chris Middleton and a bunch of shit, I'm thinking about this and I'm going, first of all, aren't you guys really, really happy you guys got Cooper Flag? And then secondly, I go, I don't think this washes away just how bad the Luka Doncic trade was, because it doesn't really help to like build the narrative fact that this was a trade that was kind of forced by the NBA, and for the fact that again it felt like the ownership caved and sold for so much worse. Where you look at the rumor where allegedly you're having this franchise who is rumored to wanting to be in Las Vegas. So what do? They trade one of their all-time super duper stars for literal peanuts, and to lower the
league is going to step in
perception. And then I see where they are right now, and I'm like, man, they're really lucky they got Cooper Flag, because if they didn't get Cooper Flag, this team is...
Oh, man. It'd be horrible.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh, like I think
all that for not even a full season of Anthony Davis.
They got like 3 games out of him.
3 games.
If that.
He's healthy.
Like, they got
for
three
games he plays for them, and I'm like
even if that, like, I think really this Wizards trade really just magnifies how horrible the Luka Doncic trade is. Even like at the time, it was baffling and terrible, and in hindsight, it's even worse than baffling and terrible. It's a trade that just didn't make a lick of sense at the time, because I don't know why you're trading a much younger player or a player that has glass bones and paper muscles. They called this man Anthony Street Clothes Davis for a reason, because he doesn't play. He hasn't played, and he didn't play for your team. And then you fire Nico Harrison, and it's just a horrible look for your franchise. But even then, I don't really want to talk about the Mavericks, because I kind of hate them in the entire just process of trading Luka, because like that trade is just it's like an onion for how much bad it is. It's layered bad. You trade away Luka to a team in the Western Conference, and you're gonna pretend that and you're trying to say that this was to maximize your team's ceiling, but you traded him to a team that is gonna get in your way to getting that NBA championship. It is just confusing. So I want to talk about the Wizards, because I do. I live near the Wizards. I live in Washington. I work for this team. I work for the Washington Wizards and the Washington Capitals.
I can tell you're from DC because you exhibit the fact that you're below the online. Uh, oh my god, this is me being all linguistic and shit. But like, apparently there's this big thing where like, some people, if you live like below a certain line, instead of on rhyming with Don, it rhymes with dawn, and whenever you say on, it sounds like on. It's a dumb thing, I know.
I guess. But I do yeah, but I do live near DC. I go to every Wizards game forcefully because I work there. And I think this was a great trade for the Wizards. It is very low risk, potentially high reward. And I know a lot of people were confused about it at the time. I mean, and so some people still are, but you got to think about it like this: your team kind of doesn't really have an identity, right? You're just a bunch of young players, and you've been a bunch of young players for like the past 3 seasons, and you're really trying to make something happen, or just like try to form an identity, try to get better, try not to be in like a team that's getting like in the teens in terms of winning. And getting like Anthony Davis and getting Trey Young for as cheap as they did. We already talked about the Trey Young trade when we did our NBA when we talked about the NBA a few weeks back. That trade is horrible for the Hawks. I don't know why they did that. But the idea makes a lot of sense, and I think it can really up their win total by a pretty decent margin. And I think they can get to like if Anthony Davis and Trey Young stay healthy next year, because they're not going to play for this team this year. This is a trade for the future. I don't like them getting rid of AJ Johnson because I think AJ Johnson's going to be really good, and I'm glad he's hopefully I'm gonna say this hopefully getting some playing time on the Mavericks. But this is a trade for the Wizards' future, for this team just to get better. Like hopefully next year you have Trey Young, Trey Johnson, and that the two Treys. Trey Johnson's only going to get better. You have Bilal Coulibaly, you have Keyshawn George. Like they have players. They have players, but they don't really have like an identity for those players. And you're gonna and now you bring in these really good veterans like Anthony Davis, who, if he can stay healthy, it's a lot of ifs, which is why I said it's a low risk. It is a low risk buy because God forbid, you already know that Anthony Davis, he's going to be 32 next year. He is not going to be playing 60. He's not going to be playing 60 plus games more than likely. But he ups his team's win share a lot, and I do think this is a good way to get this team to push this team further down there. I mean, to just honestly just move forward with their rebuild. I like that trade. It's a horrible trade for the Mavericks for obvious reasons. I think this is a great trade for the Wizards. I think the Wizards came out winners in this trade pretty easily. If I were to grade it, Mavs obviously get an F because of the Mavericks. I can't say an F. You got AJ Johnson out of it, so I'll give you a D. And I think the Wizards get a B plus. This is a very B plus move. Low risk, potentially high reward.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right. I mean, I think I said. I mean, honestly, I think I kind of perpetuated what I think all of us were thinking when this trade happened. Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
It's okay.
Maybe not basketball, but
maybe my thing is Luke doesn't watch basketball. So I can chime
that's
in
fair.
on like
I'm saying that's fair. So like
I can chime in on like a handful of things, but Luke would try, but Luke gets discouraged when he sees bad headlines that goes against his moral code, and it's like, man.
Oh, speaking of bad headlines, Taegan just posted in the group chat. Former Jets first round pick Darren
I was
Lee
about to
has
say
been
that. Yeah, he
arrested on
killed his
first
girlfriend.
degree murder charge.
That's kind of
Fine.
insane. Not even kind of. That is extremely insane.
Fine. I
You know,
don't see.
he-
I don't
not
see.
good at all.
I don't see the post because I blocked MLF football because fuck him.
Oh, even though I blocked Dov Kleiman on Twitter, or no, Dov blocked me. I can still see the previews of it in the Discord usually.
Oh, yeah. No, it's ugh. Yeah.
Anyway, I
Ew.
feel like there's another sport that takes place in an
Wait, hold
I
on.
know so
we
much
are
Little
not
man.
of.
done. We are
Hold
we
on,
are
hold
not
on,
done.
hold
Oh,
on,
wait,
We
wait,
are
wait,
not
wait.
hold
done.
on.
Wait.
There are a few more important trades to happen. There's
All right,
actually a lot. This is a very productive trade deadline.
all right. Continue, my good friends. I give the talking stick to thee.
All right. So I don't feel like we really need to talk about Lonzo. I really don't feel like we need to talk about Lonzo Ball. Like
His last
he's
defense
Yeah,
was the
just
we
worst
really don't have
ball in it.
to.
he's literally getting waived. But the Utah Jazz did make another trade. They did make another trade where they got Jaren Jackson Jr. from former Defensive Player of the Year, Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Memphis Grizzlies. How do you guys feel about this trade? I'll get the details real soon. I'm just trying to find where it is.
I'm
I'm going to.
no, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised Jaren Jackson Jr. got traded. I'm surprised he went. Like I was not expecting him to go to Utah.
Yeah,
But
Utah's the one that kind of confused that kind of really confused me. I don't know why Utah I don't know why Utah made that deal. Really weird because like I mean I see I see what they're trying to do because they're trying to do what the Wizards did, except this is a kind of like a really high buy. This was a pretty risky deal if they suck, right?
mhm,
Like this is a very pretty risky
yeah,
deal if they suck. But I see what they're trying to do, and they're trying to add more so their team doesn't suck nearly as much. You get a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr. who like makes their defense so much better because they're one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. He's gonna make this
yeah.
team so much better. The I don't know what the three future first round picks, but they traded Walter Clayton, Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, and Georges Niang for Jaren Jackson Jr., Jock Landell, who also got traded to the Atlanta Hawks, John Concher, and Vince Williams Jr. But Jaren Jackson is the main, the main attraction of that trade. I think not
Mhm.
even it was to help with their rebuild because they're still because like they're still trying to get they still in the feel out process with the Utah Jazz. But my thing is my only real pushback on that is giving up all those future firsts when your team I don't think Jaren Jackson's going to up your win total by enough of an amount to give up three future first round picks. Again, it depends on what the first round picks are. But I mean, I don't think he's going to really up their win total enough to warrant three first round picks at the point in time of their rebuild. Because as much as Keontae George is playing fantastic basketball, they're still like a 15, 16 win team. Like they're still one of the worst teams in the NBA. And I don't think Jaren Jackson
Yeah.
Jr. is going to make them any, like go to like 30 wins or or something like
Yeah.
that. Like it's still nice to have Laurie Markkinen, but
Like
you
I get
probably
what
expected to trade him too.
yeah, I mean, I get what the Jazz are doing here. I'm more just like, damn, it's kind of weird seeing the Jazz do a trade where it's not like them just getting like a free pick or something, or it's like taking on like a bad or lost player so they can release them right afterwards. Like it's weird seeing the Jazz do like a different trade than that because that's usually just been what they've been doing for like the past couple of deadlines.
Yeah, and it's nice that they can. I mean, it's nice for them. I respect it. I respect it. I think both teams came out like winners ish. So I think that the Memphis Grizzlies end up winning the most because they're getting closer and closer to actually genuinely rebuilding. I think they have like what 13 first round picks in the next 7 years.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you have a
13
lot.
around there.
You
Like
have a
I
lot
just
of picks, a whole lot of picks to work with.
Yeah, it's like I'm just more wondering, like, I looked at this compared to other trades of like big names, and it's like, God, what does the Memphis front office do in these negotiations where they just get so many first round picks? Because they did the same thing with Desmond Bain.
Well, it doesn't mean I can understand because the Magic are desperate. Like the Magic were
They were
100%
very
desperate,
desperate.
or they needed shooting super duper badly. And it's funny because they still need shooting, but they needed shooting
Yeah.
super duper badly. That they think that then they thought that Desmond Beta would get them over the hump, where they can win like a playoff series or two. TBD, we'll say TBD for that. But the Jerry Jackson Jr. one, I originally thought he would go to a contender, but well, I guess not. I guess the Jazz were. I honestly I wouldn't pass up that trade either if I'm getting that 3 first round picks from the Utah Jazz to get Jeremy to send Jaren Jackson Jr. away when we're trying to rebuild. Like absolutely, yeah, I'd do that. Since we kind of want to move on from the NBA draft, not the NBA draft, the NBA trade deadline. There's one thing. I was one, not really one more trade, but like one team I definitely do want to talk about. And that's the Chicago Bulls. It seems as if they are
Yep.
finally blowing this team up. It's about damn time. It is about damn
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
They
Yeah. I was like,
they
you know what?
got
I just want to
Jaden.
let's just talk about the Bulls in general. Let's just talk about them in
Yeah, just
general.
talk about the Bulls. They got Jaden Ivey, who I am a big fan of. They traded Desumu for who was it? Rob Dillingham,
Bellingham.
who could just not find his way in Minnesota. But like I like this. I like the decisions that the Bulls have made to finally, like just real like finally realize like, hey, yeah, what's going on here is this team is just the textbook definition of mid. We aren't like we can keep like Kobe White if we want to. We can keep Aya Dosunmu if we want to, but like our ceiling is just going to be playing. And I think they understood that. So they shipped off Kobe White. They shipped off the Sumu. I believe they also shipped off what's his name? Not Nurkic. Was it Nurkic? I don't remember his name.
Vucevic.
The
Vucevic.
Vucevic. Thank you, Vucevic. Vucevic to the ship off Vucevic. You probably like you just assume that they're going to go into a rebuild. They get younger players. They get Jaden Ivey, who again I really like. I think I still think he's going to be a great player in the league. Rob Dillingham, he gets a fresh start. He actually gets playing time, unlike what he was getting. Like he'll get playing time, and that's the most important thing for those two players is that they get playing time. They get to show what they can do, and hopefully this is an indication that the Chicago Bulls are finally rebuilding.
Yeah. Yeah. I have just been waiting. I have been waiting for just the past couple of deadlines with this team for this team to just finally figure out that this isn't working. We need to just do something different. And that different thing is just tearing it all down. And yeah, I am very happy that after all these years, we are finally tearing everything down. And it sucks to see, I wish Vooch well. I wish Kobe. I wish Isle well. I wish Kobe well. I wish all these guys well with their new teams. And but at the end of the day, it's like this is just something where it's like it's been needing to happen. And the fact that, like I will say the only thing I don't like, and granted, I know their values were I know for a good amount their values were depleted because they had held on to them for too long. But damn, I would have loved to at least one first round pick. I would have loved at least one. At least one would be nice. But no, we have an infinite gauntlet of just second round picks. Who needs them? Who wants some second round picks from us?
I
Come and
think
take them.
I won't lie. I think the Kobe White trade was pretty bad. Like the return they got for Kobe White was pretty bad. You think that you'd get like a little more than like Colin Sexton and um Diang. You expect you get a little more than
Yeah.
that. You expect probably like maybe one first. Like it can even be protected, but like a first, like something. I don't really
Yeah,
like the
granted,
Kobe White
in
trade,
Kobe's
but
yeah, in Kobe's case, I get that his value was depleted. Still wish we got a first, but I get that. I really do wish we had gotten a first though in the IO trade. Like the Thumu, we should have gotten a first for him.
oh,
That one
hundred
kind of
percent, you
that one
should have
kind
got
of
that one.
frustrated me.
got a million seconds from that. And I mean,
Yeah.
I guess like the like idea was that Rob Dillingham was the main attraction in making the trade happen. But you easily could have got a first round pick from from the I don't know if like the thing is I don't know if Minnesota had a first round pick to give out, but they you could have stole one from their future. They have Anthony Edwards. They're good for
Yeah.
like probably like the next decade. They're going to be good probably for like the next decade. So
Mhm.
you expect like better returns, but I like this. I like the trades in concept because they knew that because the Bulls finally realized that their ceiling was always going to be playing, and
Yeah.
they weren't young enough to they weren't young they aren't young enough to be a middling team, right?
Mhm.
So, and especially with the rest of the East looking like they're just getting looking like they're just getting better and looking like they're actually getting like all-star level, all NBA level players like the Hawks. They have Jalen like the Hawks have a Jalen Johnson. The Charlotte Hornets, they have LaMelo Ball. They got
Mhm.
Con Knipple. They got all that. They got they have all that. The Miami Heat are the fucking Miami Heat. I don't know what this team ever does. Like Spoelstra, get off that team. A coach a real team, pretty please. But like they kind of just knew that their writing was on the wall, so they just blew it up. Finally, like that's all I can really say is finally. It's about damn time. You don't get any first from it, which sucks ass. But like finally, it's about time
Yeah.
they did this.
It's it's about damn time, and I know this team is tanking because we have Colin Sexton on this team. That's how I know we're tanking.
They took Colin Sexton. The only other trade. I mean, they also have Anthony Simons. I mean, that's
That
something.
too.
But
Yeah, we have a
at the
million
same
guards.
time,
We have a million guards on this team.
at the same time,
It's really incredible.
I do want to push back on a little things I said. Even though it is nice that they're rebuilding, they still got these players because they're still trying to contend a little bit and not completely bottom out. And I'm just gonna be completely honest. I hate when teams do that. I really, really hate when teams do that. I don't know why they're trying to be any kind of competitive when they know what this team is. I don't know what exactly they're trying to fix. I don't know what this GM is trying to do. He's been how long has the Bulls GM been there for? I know it's been a while.
He's been here since 2020 because Arturis came in once Garpax got fired after 2020. So he came in after Garpax, and he's basically been here. If you really want to know, because I think this is the perfect way to sum it up, he's been here since we drafted Patrick Williams.
Yeah, not a good look. Not a
Yeah,
good look for anybody. So the
yeah.
only other trade I want to bring up is the Hawks for some reason getting rid of Luke Kennard for Gabe Vincent. Why did they do that? I don't know. I will not question what this front office does. I still do like I know a lot of people don't. I do. I like the Jonathan Kuminga trade because Kristaps Porzingis, I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know if he has AIDS or something, but he just does not play for the team. And getting two players that will play for your team as opposed to a player that will not play for your team I think that is a winning trade. And especially for a young guy who clearly needed a change of scenery. But that's neither here or there. That's our trade as our NBA trade deadline talks up. I wish we had more people to talk about the NBA, but it is what it is. But we're moving on to the NHL.
Finally,
Yep.
finally, it's good old ice
If,
hickey.
yeah,
Good old.
if you don't mind me sharing a quick little statistic, because the team I root for in hockey, they're distracting me from the team I root for in basketball. Um, the Minnesota Wild are an absolute wagon right now. Like one of the hottest teams in the National Hockey League. Can I share a statistic real quick?
What's the statistic, Spencer?
Uh, okay, so before Quinn Hughes was traded to the Minnesota Wild, the goals for per game were 25th, and the power play percentage was 10th. Care to guess what that is now that we have Quinn Hughes?
First,
Close.
second.
Power play percentage is second.
Ooh, nice,
Why?
nice.
What
and
a
goals for
whew.
a game is third. Yeah, Quinn. Turns out, I can't believe I ever was pissy about the Quinn Hughes trade because
When
holy shit.
Spencer, I told you this back then. Quinn Hughes is a top 2 defenseman. I
In the
wasn't
league, yes,
lying.
easily. Quinn Hughes is extremely good. He was rotting he was rotting in Vancouver.
So
And
Spencer,
the same thing with Elias Peterson. Hashtag free Elias
well,
Peterson. Please get him off
yeah,
of that
free
terrible
the
team.
man. Like
Free
the
Elias Peterson.
Canucks. Like I don't think Chris has heard my rant of the Canucks. Like we've done this podcast for years and years and years and years. And the thing that I've said about the Canucks
Want to like this team
is this is a team that feels like it needs to be dragged kicking and screaming into a rebuild. It's something that the ownership branch has been long neglecting, right? They have been long neglecting a total the word rebuild, right? We've used words like Francesco Aquilini, come to Woodstone Pizza, just tip me the hockey team. That's all you gotta do. I'll make you the best pizza that you have ever had. Best wood-fired pizza that you've ever had. You just gotta tip me the Vancouver Canucks. That's all you gotta do,
now
man.
Now it's switched over to we'll clean your windows.
I'll do more than that. I'll clean your windows and I'll vacuum out your gutters. And best part is, if they overflow within 9 months, there's warranty on that. Well, there's warranty. If their gutters are overflowing, you'll come back and somebody else will fix that issue. But you can tip me the Vancouver Canucks, and I'll call ourselves square. You know, I will no longer utter your name in horrors and go Francesco Aquilini, sell the teamy. You know, those days will be over. All you gotta do is just tip me the Vancouver Canucks. I think we got ourselves a productive deal on that. You know, I'll run the Canucks very well. I'll make sure I'll take excellent care of them. I'll make sure that they're doing their homework. I'll make sure that they're getting good grades in school. You just gotta tip me the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah. It is Aquilini has it's I wonder if he's talked to Kyle Shanahan who finally is ushered the fact that the foundation of the Leafs was as bad as it was. Brendan Shanahan. When he said the Leafs the foundation of the Leafs was as bad as it was, and the answer for them was to tear it all down and start over. I was wondered if that has happened, a conversation like that has happened to Aquilini. I do hope that that's the case because, I mean, the way the Canucks are right now, right? This team is just bad, right? There's some pieces there are some guys I can get behind. Liam Ogren has been kind of a boon. Well, not a boon. He's shown that with like additional playing time that he can like do well because like he was abysmal when he was in Minnesota. He had 0, and I mean 0. He had 0 points in when he was at Minnesota, and I think kind of like the really healthy sample size of, you know, when the entire Canucks are coming together. You look at the sample size that they had, and it's something that you can get behind. Scoring a couple of goals in the shootout to help get the Canucks to win games was really good to see, and I love what I've seen from him. Zeb Boyum looks like he might not be Quinn Hughes, but he's going to be someone that's going to develop into as close to Quinn Hughes as you can possibly get. But it's time. These are the growing pains that the Canucks have been through. You look at kind of like the reckless. You could argue like the reckless trades that they've made, where you see them selling guys like JT Miller and selling
Bo
Bo
Horvat.
Horvat, thank
Horvat.
you. Bo Horvat, and selling Bo Horvat, getting those assets, and then immediately flipping them for other assets. Like, Drew O'Connor was never worth a first-round pick. Come on, Drew O'Connor and a prospect for a first-round pick. Philip Hronek. I like Hronek, right? But, like, you're better off drafting and developing players. Like, getting the pick and the prospect, and then immediately flipping those assets to get other guys to try and do this half-and-half approach, and that's kind of what you get right here. Hronek kind of been okay. He's got a hard slap shot, and I think having like a hard shooting defenseman is indeed always good in terms of like what I like to see from the Canucks. And finally, it's now the time where it's, hey, look, this team is just fucking unwatchable. Go do something else, right? The big thing is they have several veteran players that they need to move off of, that you can move off of right now.
They can fish some really good and they can fish some really good returns for some of these guys too.
I don't think
I know you can get a really good deal for Ellie. I mean, I know they. I mean, they probably won't, but I think they can. I mean, is Brock Besser still on that team, or did he?
Besser's no move. Besser and Patterson have no movement clauses.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Okay, yeah, they're
so
gonna be,
a big thing. Kind of again, there are tradable players that I think could fetch him a lot. Evander Kane, you can get something, I hope.
And saw the idea of Evander Kane, yeah.
I think you can get a first-round pick for Connor Garland. His no movement clause doesn't kick in till July 1st. That's when his no movement clause kicks in. You could sell him off.
That'd be a tough one.
It's a tough one, but like Connor Garland can fit into anybody's middle six. And for a first-round pick...
That's true.
With a good extension, yes, you can. But there's always a but. Kiefer Sherwood, they couldn't get a first round pick for Kiefer Sherwood. The handshaking deal was a 25-year-old prospect? Are you fucking kidding me? That's not a prospect.
That's disgusting.
That's
a guy.
You couldn't, like, the Sharks, who have an abundance of... The Sharks could have easily there's no way you could have negotiated the San Jose Sharks into giving Vegas' first-round pick. Are you fucking kidding me? You have 2 firsts. You couldn't get Vegas' first-round pick from Vancouver? Really?
I mean, especially considering Jim Rutherford really loves taking first picks he had acquired from previous, trades, and then just flipping that for an asset that'll really bring the piss out of teams. And, I wouldn't be surprised if he trades that first from Minnesota for something.
Again, we talked about this, but like I think the Canucks are now fully embracing a rebuild. I don't think that's I don't think, like, even in joking matter, I'm like, I don't think that's necessarily going to happen anymore. But to me, this is as of right now, the current Vancouver Canucks regime, I feel you can get whatever it is they're selling, and you're not going to have to pay a whole bunch. And that's where I feel, as much as I feel like, hooray, they're finally doing something that they should have been fucking doing for ages, something that the fan base has been on their hands and knees begging for, is a rebuild. And then I see their first initial steps, and the first sign was, Brock Besser, open market, $7 million. And you couldn't get a team to part for a first-round pick for Brock Besser when... Look at what your supposed rivals of the I-5 was able to do with Brandon Tanev! Do you know what Brandon Tanev fetched for the Kraken? He was a healthy scratch most of the time. He fetched a second-round pick. You could have claimed this guy on waivers. We parted a second-round pick. We got a second-round pick for Brandon Tanev. Are you shitting me? the Kraken got 2 firsts and a second from the Lightning for 2 players that are going to be playing on their bottom 6. Are you shitting me? The Canucks couldn't get a first round pick for someone that can play in your top 6 in your power play? And Brock Besser? Like, that's to me is the first sign that I don't think when you feel how the Canucks are going to, like, quote unquote, sell on under the selling high. I don't even think when it comes to buying, like, a contract where a team is going to get rid of, I think you might convince the Canucks to give up an asset for a god-awful contract. That's where I think this current regime stands right now. They are...
Can I
pretty
a slightly used Jonas Brodin?
I bet you they pay a first round pick for Jonas Brodin because it gives them the idea that they're trying. But in terms of all rebuilds, they're not gonna smell like roses right away. They're gonna be long. They're gonna be very painful. You're gonna be questioning a lot of your sanity towards it. But if this Canucks organization is going to look at me and say, "All right, fine. We are going to do this whole rebuild thing. We are going to commit to rebuilding this team from the foundations up," then I need to see the front office be able to stand firm and sell on a lot of guys, because I bet you the current perception of the Vancouver Canucks really feels like you can rip them off because it's a Vancouver Canucks, and it's been this way since Jim fucking Benning. They can't get the stench off of them. If Seattle Kraken can keep getting excellent returns for their veteran players, and you can't get a first round pick for Kiefer Sherwood, who's one of your hottest goal scorers this year? Right, like the foundations of your franchise are completely in question here, and I don't think the idea of actually rebuilding is going to work here for Vancouver. I could see them ending up as much as the Buffalo Sabres, because as long as Aquilini owns this team, I think this team is going to be very directionless, and they're not going to have an idea of what to do. And meanwhile, the division rival for the Calgary Flames, they're committing to the correct ways of a rebuild. As of now, there's still the Canadian market stereotype where Canadian hockey team owners do not want to rebuild whatsoever because they think no one's going to watch when they're rebuilding.
Literally ever.
So, if you can commit to a hard if either Calgary or Vancouver can commit to a hard, and I mean a hard rebuild where, you know what, we're going to be bad. That's okay. Let's make the Abbotsford Canucks at least semi-competitive. Let's focus on, building the future core. And kind of the big thing, too, there's an interesting thing, too, especially for the Vancouver Canucks. And the Sedin Twins are, like, the biggest treasure of Vancouver sports. There's a pair of twins that are currently playing for the hockey team in, Medicine Hat, the Medicine Hat Tigers. There's a set of twins. They're currently projected late first round, early second round picks. Get it done for Vancouver. Draft both of them. I think you'll get a lot of people on board if you draft a set of twins. And imagine if Gavin McNamara was playing with this team, with the set of twins. I think their draft stock would sort through the roof, but kind of maybe it might be a thing.
Unless those twins call his mom a whore, in which case all bets are off.
Yeah. So, I want to believe in this rebuild. I want to believe in the idea that what it is that they're doing is the correct move, but I think the Vancouver Canucks are going to be genuinely bad for a very, very long time. And I'll see. They have this trade deadline to really change my mind. They've got pieces to move. They've got... we'll have to wait and see, but I want to believe that this current regime does know what it's doing. But as of now, under Francesco Aquilini, that's a no. I don't think he knows what he's doing with this team, and trying to you know, his moves are going to either set back this franchise into another rebuild, or they finish this rebuild and it's successful, and it's all on what Aquilini is going to be doing and his decisions for the team. But right now, I don't think that the Canucks are realistically going to be going anywhere with Aquilini at the helm. I want to believe in this team. I want to believe what they're doing is right. They are doing the one thing that the fans have been asking for, which is rebuilding. But I don't know how genuine, those handshakes are, if you catch my meaning. I feel that these are more like back-ended than, anything. And that's where I kind of stand on the Canucks right now. I want to believe what they're doing is the right way, but the big sad thing is trading Quinn Hughes is when you trade a special player like that, when you failed to build around him, it's really hard to convince the fan base that you're going to have a successful rebuild.
What you're doing.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really just shows that you really, it's hard to get a fan base behind when you trade a player like still very, very much in their prime, and their prime it looks like it's not going to stop for a very long time, and you trade them. You trade them at their peak, not even at their peak. I don't even think Quinn uses peak yet. He's that good, but you trade him, and now you're kind of just stuck with like, well, what now? Like, and that's where they are, and that's where the Vancouver Canucks are. It's like what now? Like you're forced to do a hard rebuild, but they should have done that.
They should
have committed to. You know what I'm saying? They should have, but the problem is they should have and it really hurt them. Like it was like around COVID. I want to say like around COVID.
When they traded Louis Eriksson away. When they traded Louis Eriksson away for their 7th overall pick and a bunch of garbage contracts for OEL and the other Connor Garland. I like Connor Garland. He's not a top 6 forward. He's a middle 6 forward. I like he is easily going to be a coach's favorite. But when they did that trade, that set this team's ceiling down the drain. Their inability to to get Niels Höglander to hit a ceiling. Unable to develop Vasily Podkolzin. 2 players that, had you developed properly, could be dominating in your top 6. Aatu Ratti, I've got no idea what's going on with him. Lakiriemi, I've got no idea. I thought he was a complete bust at first because he had a terrible World Juniors when he was 19. He was able to luckily rebound when he was 20. Had a good rebound with that. But, these are guys that are almost approaching that dreadful age of 23, and they still can't crack the top 6? Are you fucking serious? This Canucks team
if you can't crack the top 6 at 23. You are what you probably, unless you're like Dylan Strome or something, you probably are what you are.
Right? And that's kind of been the biggest thing. Yes, the Abbotsford Canucks won the Calder Cup, but it's something that the fan base, you kind of need to... It's the unfortunate thing about the AHL too, is that just shows how good your depth is. That doesn't show that your prospects are anywhere they are. It shows that, hey, you've got some solid bottom 6 depth in your organization, right? Sure, you do develop players.
You can just call up when you can call up when injuries happen. But what about the young guys? What about the what about the actual prospects? And I think that's where the Vancouver Canucks really failed. Is just is exactly what you said. Just that the entire 2020 thing. The entire 2020 season, or honestly, even before even before that, it's they had I feel they had a plan for the team when they were still really bad. And Elias Peterson, it was the Elias Peterson Brock Besser show. They had a plan, and they didn't do. It felt like they didn't do anything with it.
They did.
A lot of the trades that they made were just inconsequential. Just a bunch of asset flipping. That, again, like you said, just a bunch of asset flipping, and the rebuild just went it kind of just stagnated and went nowhere. The guys that they expected to produce on their top 6 didn't. And then they wait too long to actually do another rebuild, and then here they are. They have two players that they can't move on from because they have no trade clauses, which would be it would be amazing if they could move on from them because it would really bolster their rebuild and they can't move on from those two players. So they're kind of so their ceiling will always be capped. And again, it's like I said, it's like you failed with Quinn Hughes, and Quinn Hughes is playing just phenomenally on Minnesota as expected.
Well, I mean,
so
part
now
of
you're
that
in
is, because like Kaprizov is just
Krill the
like,
thrill,
yeah,
baby.
Kirill Kaprizov is insane.
Krill
Kirill
is
Kaprizov is
so
also just
good. Oh my
fantastic.
gosh.
Yeah. It's
Outerworldly.
like what do you do? And it's really and the worst part is that like I feel like they're not even like the most they're not even the most disappointing team. Probably not even like a top 3 most disappointing team of the in the NHL this year because like I think number 1 will definitely be the New York Rangers, and number 2 is the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs don't even win it.
The Jets.
Fuck.
The Jets honestly really make me sad because I know how much ownership kind of stinks right now, and how no matter how good this team is, like they literally won the President's Trophy last year, and they were still having problems with attendance. It's I really do feel bad for that team. They have a lot of players I really genuinely like on that team, like Mark Scheifele. I love Mark Scheifele. I love Connor
Scheifele's
Hellebuck.
good. Hellebuck's
I really like.
stalwart.
I like John Morsey. I like their players. It's just losing Nikolai Ehlers hurt a whole bunch.
I don't even know
ton.
what you do if you
And
are the Winnipeg Jets at this point, because it really feels like Hellebuck's not going to get any younger. They've done a lot of really good wheeling and dealing, but it really feels like when your franchise player is the goalie, it feels like it shows that nothing realistically can go right here. And especially when it feels like the Winnipeg Jets can produce.
it's just like Carey Price. It's just like Carey Price.
Yeah,
it
feels like
it's literally just like Carey Price with the Canadians.
Yeah, it really
like
does.
Carey Price was their best player, but they like Carey Price was their best player, but like if it feels like you have a few pieces in like your top 6, and then you have like 1 or 2 good defensemen, and then everything else is kind of mid to butt cheeks, just like the Montreal Canadiens. And now, like again, the Jets don't have like any real depth. They don't have any real depth outside of Connor Hellebuck. They better pray that man doesn't get injured, or like it gets nasty. It gets really nasty in Winnipeg.
My thing
they're in such a
initial strength was they were able to run 4 lines, but I feel, and that's a trap that I feel like even the New York Islanders fell into, that where it's like, yes, you could run all 4 lines, but what really sets you apart from everybody else is having that true superstar in your top 6. And it really feels that the Jets never had that. As weird as it is to say, and like for how good they have been, not having somebody that's a home run hitter in your top 6
hurts.
It hurts. Like you've had like a lot of players that are like B1 star players, right?
Yeah.
Like B1, but you don't have that like A2 or A3, like those A1 or those A2 talented star players on your team, and those that are really close to it, they end up walking.
They don't have a Kaprizov.
Yeah, I remember having to gas up Kevin Fiala, when he was with the Wild, because we had nobody else other than, I don't know, maybe Devon Dubnyk or Joel Eriksson Ek.
Man, Devin Dubnyk, what a time! Oh man, for me personally, I've never had to deal with that because all my life I've had the best goal scorer of all time on my team, so we've always had a 1A. But for the Winnipeg Jets, they're just like, and even then they're in a market where it's like, you want to go to Canada, why would I not want to go to like literally any other Canadian team? It maybe except for the Vancouver Canucks. Like, why would I not want to go to any other? Well, maybe also the Calgary Flames, but they're kind of just smack dab in the middle. And it's
Winnipeg is here's something I figured out.
The fans are awesome.
Something that's like, something I figured out about Winnipeg is that they are the only Canadian team that has an NHL the only Canadian city with an NHL franchise, but no rail-based transit system.
Oh, they were never going to have a real. The public transit in Canada is not going to exist.
That's actually horrible. I'm not gonna lie. That's
Yeah,
actually
I mean,
extremely
to be fair,
horrible.
Winnipeg's a very small city in Canada, and it's a city where if you're not paying attention, shanks for coming, shank you later. Terrible.
See, I've heard about the shankings, but I looked up the crime stats. It's still nicer than America. God damn it.
Yeah, and that's the funniest thing too. It's the funniest thing too.
Yeah.
Like, I know I like to dog on like Canadian cities and whatnot, Chilliwack especially, because I fucking hate the city. I want to get the fuck out as soon as when I deem it humanly possible. But man, it's good lord. Good lord, Winnipeg. I feel bad for to say that their season's been a disappointment is outstanding. It says something. I mean, the Rangers, the fact that you sold Artemi Panarin for a bag of gum.
Yeah, I think the Rangers have it the worst, though. They have it the absolute worst. Man.
They have it the worst, which granted, I know in Panarin's case, like, they were pretty much held, it was pretty much held at gunpoint, because it's like, he basically said, I'm going to LA, and I'm not going anywhere else. Trade me there. They were pretty much, they were fucked the moment that happened.
Do you know what I find to be the stupidest part about Panarin? And that Panarin only wants to play for big cities. Seattle, the Kraken, were willing to give this man 14 plus million for 4 years, and you take a 2x11 in LA. It was never about the money. He just doesn't want to play in a small market city, which I find it disgusting. Because remember, he wanted to get the first theoretical ticket out of the fucking Blue Jackets. He wanted the first ticket out of there to play for a big market city. I hate that stereotype
funny.
much.
It's really funny. It's really funny because considering it's in that case the way he looked at Seattle, it's calling Seattle a small market would be fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But from his perspective, I guess it's a small market in his eyes.
You mean not saying that the Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl? It's so dumb, that decision. I hate it so much to where it's oh my god, why? Seattle was gonna get they tried. They probably would have given the Rangers the return that they desired, and Panarin would have fit so nicely in the top 6. That's a great aggressive ad. But I question that Panarin's decision of I only want to play for a small market town syndrome, and that's kind of fucking cringe, bro. It's kind of fucking cringe.
So how are the Knights doing?
Yeah, let's talk about the Golden Knights.
Oh, yeah, it's time to talk about them. Well, let's just get this out of the way. The Pacific sucks ass. I think we can all agree with that.
That's
the
fucking
Pacific
high heaven
is terrible.
It is so bad.
The Pacific is so bad.
Goddamn Ducks have a chance at.
The Ducks have a chance to make the playoffs this year. It is horrible.
Do you want to know what
they have the same amount of points as the Kraken. There is a good chance that they can make the playoffs.
Do you know what the funniest thing? Watch the Pacific have 5 teams in the fucking playoffs instead of 3, which what it fucking should be.
It's possible. It's very possible.
It's very. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually very possible because the Mammoth are only 1 point above that threshold. There is a very.
You know how sad.
And the Kings.
It's right
the
there.
Kings are right there. Even the Sharks.
I know.
The Sharks aren't that far behind.
The Sharks are really close.
They're literally a hot streak.
Mm-hmm.
They're a hot streak away from being at that spot.
Meanwhile, I am so telling you. Imagine if Bedard was never hurt. Imagine if Connor Bedard was never hurt. The Blackhawks would be right in that conversation too. Second Bedard's got hurt, the Blackhawks season's fucking done.
I don't think it's just the Pacific sucks. I think it's just the Western Conference sucks. Meanwhile, the the East is a gauntlet right now. It is
It's
legit a
death's
gauntlet.
door.
It is death. The Atlantic Division is super death because there's not a single team that is. I mean, every team, like almost every team in that division has like what they're like over five. Like most of them are over 500.
They're
The other
like
ones
500
They're
points
all over
percentage,
60
yeah.
points. They
You
are
know what I'm
all
saying?
above 60 points.
Yeah, they're all above 60 points. The Metro is also a gauntlet because like the Capitals are in fifth. The Capitals are in fifth place right now, and they have 65 points. They're not in a playoff spot. There's still a chance that they could get in there, but yeah, no, it is ruthless right now. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely
Look, it is
ruthless
just look.
in the
I'm just
Eastern
saying,
Conference.
and I'm saying this as the Knights fan. It is the most Knights shit ever that this team has 14 overtime losses and we're still leading the Pacific at the break. Like it is the most Golden Knights shit ever.
It's so annoying because Mitch Marner gets to make the fuck. If Mitch Marner wins the cup, oh please don't. I don't
See a universe. I'm not gonna lie. I do not see a universe where the Western Conference Final isn't the Avalanche killing whoever they face.
I know it is.
Yeah.
It is,
right
but
now
like
it is definitely fate right now.
I don't
I
know.
mean, look at the two juggernauts that are playing in the fucking Central. The Stars. Back to the Golden Knights.
I think
we'll get to
Minnesota
it,
is.
but back to
I
the
think
Golden
Minnesota's
Knights.
getting closer to the Avs than people realize.
They are.
I think
They
the
are.
Avs
They
are
are
still.
getting
They are.
close.
They are. They are.
They are. But I think the Avs are still. I think the Avs are still a more complete team.
Yeah, but
And
let's
Nathan
get,
McKinnon is
But
ridiculous.
if I
Cale
may,
McCarr.
let's get
Cale
back to
McCarr is also ridiculous.
let's get to the Golden Knights first, and then we'll have lots of time
yeah,
to talk about the Central.
I do have
Golden Knights
actually
first.
I do have things to say though. I do have things to say though about Vegas. So the thing with Vegas is on the good side. This top six has been amazing. It has been probably one of the best top sixes in hockey. Like Jack Eichel is playing some of the best hockey of his career,
That's
as
surprising.
you would expect. Yeah, not surprising at all. Mark Stone, despite having the back of like a 70-year-old, is playing the best he's ever played as a Golden Knight, which I've already seen. I've seen the tweet going around where it's like Mark Stone is playing some elite hockey at 77 years old with like 14 bionic body parts is one of my favorite things happening this season. Like he is this man is playing the best hockey of his career, and he is doing it with like the speed you would not expect from someone who has 60 points in 41 games. Like he is doing everything he needs to do, and it's beautiful. But like on the top six, guys like Ivan Barbashev have been productive as usual. Tomas Hertl's been doing very well, still been doing well at center. Pavel Dorofeyev has been one of the best players on the power play in the NHL. Like legitimately, he's second in the NHL when it comes to power play goals because he has 14, which I checked is more than guys like Leon Draisaitl, which is that is impressive. That's something you love to see. Draisaitl and McDavid, but yeah, the power play's been very good for us. The top six has been very good for Vegas. Well, honestly, it's been great for Vegas, and the defense has been doing very well for Vegas, which I will talk about again in this team because it will not correlate, but it will offer some context to some of the issues that the team has been having. But the defense has been doing its job. I was very mixed on the Rasmus Anderson trade because it's like I was like, I don't really know if we really need another defender, especially considering that Anderson was kinda not great defensively over the past season or so. But I mean, you are reuniting him with Noah Hannafin, and you are getting him out of Calgary, which that's gonna feel good in that case. And
Yeah, but
granted, Vegas Yeah, Vegas loves making trades for Calgary. Calgary might as well
They're
be our
your,
feeder team because that's literally
they're your
they love
division
making trades with
rival.
us.
How the
That's
fuck is the division
Calgary
rival?
loves no, like Calgary loves to give teams like Stanley Cups. They're like, you know what, Florida
Sure,
Panthers, here you
yeah.
go. Here you go. Here's two Stanley Cups. There you go.
yeah.
And
Vegas,
But
we want you guys to stay good.
Yeah.
it's that
yeah.
Canadian hospitality, and that's
Calgary's
what it
supposed to be
is.
the fucking mean ones, though.
Well,
Not
I
to
mean,
us,
maybe
I
what it is,
suppose.
I
True,
think
true,
what it
true.
is they felt bad after taking Laney McDonald from the Maple Leafs, and this is them paying penance.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll take that. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
By the
fair.
way, speaking of the Leafs, I'll just give the Marner update on how he's been doing. He's been doing fine. He's really adjusted into
I bet he
his
fucking is. I bet he fucking
he's
is
really
doing well.
adjusted into his new role. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like over the past month or so,
I
because
bet
like
that
for
little
the start of
bitch
the
has
year, it's like
adjusted to
he
his
was getting
role.
points. Like
Sorry, I'm
he was
still
getting
mad about it.
points, but I know. I know. Like he was getting points, but it felt like he was trying to get, adjusted to the new system because this is definitely a different system from, what you would play in Toronto because it's way more of a defensive first system in
I
Vegas under Cassidy.
bet.
But with Marner, it's like, it's really worked well, especially because he's been playing at center for like the past month or so, and he's done
Oh, he
really
plays center. He's
well,
an athlete.
usually on the second line. So yeah, he's been doing his job. So I'm
Wow.
happy with how Marner's been doing, but we gotta wait and see what happens going forward.
I bet he's
And
doing
I love
great.
that. I love that
Uh,
you are the voices
oh
in my
boy,
head. So
here,
thank
here
you.
we go. It's time for
Yeah,
that other Leafs fan
it's not like
react.
fucking Toronto has been not like they tried to run a defensive heavy system under Craig Berube. And Martin, the little bitch Martin is fucking listening. First time I heard that.
Mm.
First time I heard that. Really, he's Mitch Martin has adjusted into a defensive heavy system. What the Craig Berube system wasn't defensive at all? Are you kidding me? God.
I think your team's just cursed, buddy. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to
No,
tell you. I think your team
this
is just
this is
cursed.
the time where he likes to bring out his inner Steve Dangle.
No,
Yeah.
we're talking about the Central next.
A
We're talking about
Zamboni driver.
We're talking about the Central next. I've already. You know how many times I've ranted and raved about the Maple Laughs? My summary is this: just make them, just don't get Boston a top 10 pick. Oh my god! Oh, I haven't talked about the Boston trade. I haven't talked about the Boston trade.
Better start winning games.
Talked about the.
What did they? Yeah, no. I'm. Jeez. Oh, Woody
Do you
Woodpecker.
want to
came
know
out.
how cursed that is?
I need to
Oh
know.
man.
Fraser Mitten.
Oh man.
I need to-
Apparently, the Maple Leafs organization viewed this man as a bottom 6 forward. Do you know what he's been? A point per game player. A point per game player. The first round pick we might get them might be in the top 10. It's top 5 protected. They might as well somehow get the 6th.
What was the trade?
It was for Brandon Carlo.
So what was the trade?
A first that's top 5 protected. Fraser Mitten, a 4th round pick, and for Brandon Carlo. Fraser Mitten is contributing in Boston's top 6. And it was like last year's trade deadline was like a fucking seller's wet dream. It was a buyer's market. You could guys went for insane stuff unless you're Vancouver for some fucking reason. But let me tell you what so far the return is. It's a Fraser Mitten who's contributing in their top fucking 6. There's so many. Alex Steeves. Toronto has developed this man. Toronto in the Toronto Marlies for the longest time. Brandon Steve is fucking bad. He's got double-digit goals this year. He's got more goals than half the fucking Maple Leafs player. You think we could have used that at all? You think we could have used that, Spider-Man? No, wait. Batman? I could have used that. I certainly could have used that, Batman. Batman. But do we get what we want? No, we don't get what we want, Batman. We don't. And do you know what the giant middle finger in the face is? The 4th round pick, the pick that has a 21% chance of a player playing one game in the NHL. That player in Europe in the Swedish league leads the league in scoring. I want to die. We gave the enemy 4, well, technically 3, but I'm going to call it 4. 4 players for one guy that I want off of my fucking team. I am so outraged.
It really just goes to show the. I think it really just goes to show the difference in organization between the Boston Bruins.
The odds of this happening is impossible. The fact that we've got hosed in a trade where somehow the team hits a fucking grand slam with a pick, a player, a long shot pick. It's nonsense. Oh, and the player who should be playing in our bottom 6 right now, Batman, is playing in the enemy's bottom 6 and has the same amount of goals as Bobby McMahon. Why do I cheer for this fucking team?
This reminds me of another trade that the Maple Laughs did with the
what would
Boston
that
Bruins.
be?
Remember, you guys remember Phil Kessel?
Oh, I remember the Phil
Phil
Kessel
Kessel.
trade.
Mhm.
Of course, Phil Kessel, the hot dog, the so-called hot dog man, Batman. I remember it all too well. I remember that.
Yeah, you gift wrapped them. I love how they gift wrapped the
We
Bruins
gift
Stanley
wrapped
Cup team.
the enemy multiple picks. Spider-Man.
It is.
We've
And
gift-wrapped
then
it.
they trade Phil Kessel.
And then we trade Phil Kessel.
in the year. And then they trade
And
Phil
he
Kessel,
goes
and
to
then
win
he
2 Stanley
back-to-back.
Cups. That's what we've done,
Man,
Batman.
oh.
That's what we've
Man,
done.
oh, man.
That's what we've done.
Yeah, no. Yeah, your team is cursed. That sucks.
That's what
Yeah.
we've done.
That is
The mental anguish
that really
I have
sucks.
gone through this team as a whole is absolutely insane. I wasn't going to
The
rant
team was
about the
the
Maple
team
Laughs,
was-
but then I had to be reminded of what we did with trades.
And thank you. Oh yeah, and by the way, thank you for Rasmus Sandin too. I
Oh,
really
you're
appreciate
absolutely
him.
welcome, because we don't know what good players are if it fucking bitch slapped us in the
Yeah,
fucking face.
He's been really good for the Capitals. I love Rasmus Sandin. He is. Hopefully he'll replace John Carlson's sorry ass, but that's neither here nor there.
Why?
Why? I do want to talk about.
It's-
I do want to talk about my team a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
go
not gonna
talk
lie.
about. I don't want to talk.
I mean, there's really not much.
Go.
I
Go ahead.
don't want to talk too much about the. I mean, there really isn't that much to say about the Capitals. They just need to get healthy, and I think they'll be back in the playoffs. I mean, they're a few points out because the East is a gauntlet. Like for some reason, the Penguins are good, which pisses me off. Like the Islanders, Schaefer's looked really good, really good for them. Honestly, the Calder race this year is really fun. Genuinely, I think there's a lot of good young players out there. But that's. I mean, well, I was gonna say that's not about the Capitals, but that's not true because Ryan Leonard, he's gonna be in that Calder race this year because he's been very good for this team. I think it's like 30 points, and he's gonna probably finish with around like
that Calder
56, like 50 maybe 50 points maybe. Like that's good for. I mean, hey, pretty damn good for a rookie that's playing behind a whole bunch of veterans that we need to get rid of. But that is neither here or there. This team's power play is awful, like so bad. It is ridiculous how bad this team's power play is. They're not even just power play. Special teams as a whole for the Capitals has been quite atrocious all season long. I don't know when they're going to fix it, but it's slow. It is just a bunch of puck movement and no getting the puck towards the net. I see no screening. It is just get the puck to Ovechkin. It's like they're still trying. It's like they're still trying to get Ovechkin his 900th goal. when he's already gotten his 900th goal. When he's already gotten his 900th goal, like he already broke the record, guys. I just need you guys to understand that. You don't have to revolve this power play around a 41-year-old man. Okay, you don't need to do that. Jacob Chikrin has been genuinely amazing for this team. Like he's probably one of the most under talked about defensemen in the entire NHL. And honestly, I gotta give like Brian McClellan unbelievable amounts of credit because unlike the Maple Leafs, he knows how to make fantastic trades because he robbed Vegas blind
Oh, I
for
bet.
Logan Thompson. Yeah, he robbed
I
Vegas blind for Logan
fucking
Thompson.
bet.
I'm still genuinely surprised they gave us Logan Thompson. What was like what a fifth? Yeah,
I
they
mean,
gave us Logan Thompson for a fifth, and
There's
it was
something
like
around there.
my hot take is
uh,
goalies. You can get goalies for like a 4th or a 5th round pick if the organization does not view him as a starter like whatsoever. It's easier. It's easier to do than I find anything
it was,
else. It's pretty easy. We got use of
yeah, I know,
Freddie
but like he won
Anderson
them,
for like
but
a
like
4th.
I know, but Logan Thompson won them a Stanley Cup. He was really good for Vegas. I don't know why they gave him no, I know why because they weren't gonna pay him.
Mm-hmm.
In hindsight,
Yeah.
they probably should have, but
Yeah, in
like yeah,
hindsight,
they weren't gonna pay him.
we should have. Granted, I will say for Thompson, I think it was something where it's like Thompson really wanted to be a number one goalie, and it just wasn't gonna happen in
Not in
Vegas because
Vegas.
Hill was still doing well at the time, and also like as good as Thompson was, because he was very much an unsung hero of that Cup season. He was also he was dealing with injury problems that season, and I remember hearing even going back like a month after we won the Stanley Cup that Thompson was talking about being traded. So it seemed like it was longer than it was.
Oh, just a
It was
long overdue
something that felt like
process.
it
Yeah,
was
I got it.
yeah, it was long in the making, basically.
Yeah,
As much as
as this
it sucks
happens.
for us, as much as it sucks for us, I am happy that Thompson's doing well in
He's
Washington.
doing very well. He was a Vesna candidate this year. Do not let those stats fool you. Advanced stats will tell you that he's been one of the best goalies in the entire NHL. It is just that the
Yes.
Capitals, outside of Rasmus Sandin and Jacob Chikrin, that defensive core, not pretty. It is not pretty. Same thing with the bottom six. Bottom six is quite poor. And they do need the. I mean, again, a lot of it was due to injuries. We like the lineup was just fluctuating for a good part of like November, December, and January. So essentially, the entire year, like the lineup has just been in flux. But I got it. I can really only give Brian McClellan props. I can only give him props for what he's done. Like getting Dylan Strome and how he's completely turned his career around. He's like he was an incredible find for this team. You just slap that guy in our top six, and he's just become an assist machine. He can score goals. Like he's doing everything for it. Feels like he's almost doing everything for this team. Tom Wilson is Tom Wilson. You either love that guy or you absolutely hate that guy. Most people absolutely hate him. But like you gotta give Tom Wilson credit where credit's due. He plays his brand of hockey so very well as like an enforcer, as a bruiser, as that power forward that can also score goals. This is who David Pastrnak himself said is the best goal scorer in the league. Take that however you will. But it's been they've had a little bit of trials this year. They need to fix the power play desperately. They need to fix their special teams as a whole desperately because their penalty kills also been pretty bad. Get healthy. They'll be in the playoffs. I guarantee it. I know they will. We have a great coach too, so we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the Minnesota Wild.
Dude, I love what the Wild are
man.
doing.
Oh my
Home
god.
run
Holy
slam.
I'm saying we're just gonna go
shit.
over our favorite teams.
Yeah.
Go over our favorite
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah. That the fact that we have Ryan. Holy shit! That's Ryan Hartman as our number one center, and it's working. It's working. How? Fucking how? Like this guy, by all pure measures of the world, he should be like a bottom sixer, but somehow he keeps coming up as an actual number one center. Like, and it keeps working. They keep doing that line of Kaprizov, Hartman, Zuccarello, and it works. It fucking works. And Zuccarello, he keeps. Oh my god, you would have been proud, Chris, because Zuccarello, he had a ripper. It was literally like he took the puck on face-off. He immediately slaps it into the net for a wild goal. Like it was like Ovechkin-esque. Um, and also we have a lot of good depth that we've been building up in Iowa for years, and it's cool that we're finally seeing these guys uh, build up. You know, like guys like Danila Yurov and Matthew Boldy, and over on the defense, guys like Damon Hunt, and we still have more guys coming up. Because I know for a fact, like like a name I keep hearing a lot is David Juracek. Apparently that's a big name for like a defenseman that could be on the up and up if Brodin or Spurgeon come up. Like, and like it. I poo poo the Brodin Spurgeon line because they're way past their prime, and like their age is definitely starting to show on the field. But like, dude, there's like the Hughes Faber line. Oh my god, possibly one of the best defensive pairings in the NHL right now. I knew Brock Faber was good. The fact that he got paired with Quinn Hughes was apparently like mixing nitrogen and glycerin, because these guys, oh my god, not only are they like, are they pug hogs? They get it in the net. Like, I'm used to a very boring brand of wild hockey, so the fact that Bill Guerin has assembled fucking this, is nothing short of astounding for me. Like, you're telling me defensemen can be actually interesting and not Jordan Greenway? Like, this is some of the best hockey the state of Minnesota has had since at least the 2003 Cup run, possibly since the 1991 North Stars run. Mike Modano's rookie season. And I am really interested to see if they make any more tweaks before the deadline. Whether that's reinforcing the second or third defensive line, or like finally just slapping your nuts on the table and being like, fuck it, we're getting a number one center. Who can we trade with? Holy fuck.
You have no idea.
I love what the Wild have done.
Was not expecting Ryan Hartman to have that fucking. I was not expecting Ryan Hartman to have the fucking we ball mentality of them saying, "Hey, dude, you're gonna be our first line center." He's like, you know what? Let it ride, let it rock, and he's been doing incredible things, man. I really feel like there's some teams I want to talk about, but I feel like we can really start talking about teams once the trade deadline comes.
Yeah, we'll have a really good idea.
I cannot wait for the trade deadline.
Stay tuned for that, because we're going to have a very special guest on our stream for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are. Not to mention, we do grade the trade deadline every single year. It was one of my final teams to one of my I have 3 hockey teams that I watch. Seattle Kraken are something. By that, I have no idea what the fuck they are. I can't tell you what this team really is in its weird way. I feel like they're on the precipice of breaking through the glass ceiling, but I feel like they're one stupid decision away from sending them on the path of another rebuild. If you can catch my meaning on this one. They look really good. Beniers has been incredibly red hot as of late, which is so needed. I've been waiting for this from one
It's better than how I pronounce his name, Beignets.
No, it's Beniers. Because Matty Beniers he's gotten like a lot of like first line minutes, but it really has felt like he hasn't produced, at a that first line level. And because he hasn't been producing at that kind of like that first line level, I've been wondering, why isn't Shane Wright on this first line? And secondly, why isn't Shane Wright on this first line? And followed by, why isn't Shane Wright on this first line? Because, I look into, the deep in analytics, and I look at a lot of the Kraken losses, and you know who's always on the net positive? Eli Tollefson, Janny Newman, and Shane Wright. The third line that they have paired together has always been the best producing. They've been very good on the power play too. So I don't get why Shane Wright's on the third line. This guy needs to get to the second or first line ASAP. They need to start pairing Wright and Beniers and Berkey Catton on the same line. And I think that young first line is a great gut punch. But then you also have a really wise second line with Eberle, McCann, and Chandler Stefan. Something like that to really as a really good top six line, but I'm still not remiss by it. Vince Dunn, I want to know what the fuck happened to Vince Dunn, because Vince Dunn used to be somebody that, I know he's a B1 in terms of defenseman. Sometimes he can be an A4, and there are years where I'm like, man, if only he was fully healthy, he would be really good for the Seattle Kraken. And now that he's fully healthy, he's been, sometimes good, sometimes he's kind of shit. And are you really a franchise defenseman, or do we still need to look? Because I can tell you one thing, there ain't one coming up. There isn't one in our organization whatsoever that is of franchise caliber. Top 4 potential, yes, but not something that's gonna carry this franchise for what it needs to be to win a Stanley Cup. Because if you want to look at all of your top aces in the West, you gotta compete with the juggernauts of the Stars, the Wild, and the Avs. And what do all of them have? If it's a great franchise forward, and a franchise defenseman, and a good backstop. The Kraken don't really have, any of them. Their best player this year is Philip Grubauer. Did I just say that? That's a sentence I just said.
Washington Capitals legend Philip Grubauer.
I just said Philip Grubauer and is good in the same sentence.
I literally only know Grubauer as a punchline. When he was with the Avalanche, because it was a classic chirp. A Wild fan would go up to a Colorado fan and be like, "Hey, you know what time it is?" He said, Avs fan is like, "No, I don't say. I don't know. Why do you ask?" And then the Wild fan would say, "Oh, I don't know. I'd say it's about 5 past Grubauer."
Yeah, and then they would say, haha, we have way more rings than you. You guys have never been to a Stanley Cup. Fuck you. That's what they would say.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
The thing that...
We have Nathan McKinnon, you don't.
Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar, good lord. How is it crazy that Gabriel Landeskog, who we all thought had a career was basically over, and what happens when you get back a, point per game player that's fully healthy. I mean, the question is how long is he gonna last, really? But, like, how insanely good is it to have him back? Like, that's the thing that's been, but to me, that separates Colorado Avalanche from everything else, is that you had a player that is totally out for this long duration, and then it's psych. No, he's not. And he was never a doubt. He was never not going to come back. And I think it's really good that Gabriel Landeskog is back for the team. And Nathan MacKinnon is such a god-sended talent. And when you just have that value with him, he's so good.
Nathan MacKinnon is so good at hockey, man.
Team Canada's power play line's gonna be Nathan MacKinnon, Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, and Mitch Marner at the point. Oh,
that's crazy because Mitch Marner is easily by far and away the worst player there, and he's still extremely good.
He's just gonna be the distributor. That's all it is. Like, holy shit! Do you know how not, like, some poor, like, there's a team that's mostly filled with, like, European players. They're gonna have to deal with that line in the power play kill.
They gotta look, mom. I'm on TV as goaltender against these demons.
I can't wait to see it. It sucks. I would like to play USA in the round robin, but that's neither here or there. But, like, what Colorado has and the ridiculous point pace that they are on, they could essentially go on a 10-game losing streak and still have a 100% chance to make the playoffs. Like, it's that insane.
Like, they need a bomb to go off in Colorado for this team to miss the playoffs. They've been skidding a little bit, and even then it's only like a little bit. They're still in the single digits in overtime losses and regulation losses, which is still absolutely ridiculous.
It's insane.
The team is alive.
They got 83 points. You just need to win like 5 games, and you make the wild card 2 spot in the Pacific probably. Like, they have theoretically like a 10-game jump on like everybody else, and it's astonishing to watch. It's been blown away because, like, we do see seasons like this, but they're mostly teams from like the Eastern Conference. To see a Western Conference team have this good of a season is truly an inspiring thing to see. Truly, really good.
Yeah.
Incredibly well done.
I do want to talk to you about how you felt watching the Boston Bruins completely choke against the against the Tampa Bay Lightning on Sunday.
That was great. That was great spank bank material.
I bet it was. I wasn't really paying attention because I was at work, but then I saw it was like 5-1. I was like, oh, free eats for Boston, and then I got home and I was like, oh, they lost. Lamausers.
I lost, and I was like, just like Deadpool, just like what Deadpool said in the opening line, I'm gonna touch myself tonight.
It all started because of this Foley fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really excited for this trade deadline. It's going to be so interesting to see who gets moved.
Dude, speed skating starts Sunday. No, wait, it's tomorrow. Speed skating's tomorrow. Holy crap!
I was like, you're talking about speed skating on Sunday. Like, I'm not. First of all, I'm gonna be watching everything related to the Super Bowl, and then the day after I gotta start. I will begin writing my post Super Bowl what the fuck happened to the Atlanta Falcons analysis, which hopefully will go over pretty well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I am just a huge sucker for speed skating. I went to college in Milwaukee, and one of the coolest things I got to see was I actually got to see the facility where they test speed skating for Olympic athletes. Holy shit! Those guys move.
My dad is also Dutch, and one of the cool things that like I get to learn about growing up was like how deep the Netherlands were into speed skating. So I could be absolutely for like some like I love the Winter Olympics 100% over the Summer Olympics by like a long shot. It's just, I don't have normal TV. I just have subscription services. That's my source of TV.
Yeah.
So
yeah, yeah, I think I might have Peacock or something. I don't know.
yeah.
But you know what it's like my good friend the Joker once said, say Peacock, nobody bats an eye. Say Poopcock, everybody loses their minds.
That is true. That is true.
I
Noah,
just
would
said
you
that
like to add
usually.
anything about the Philadelphia Flyers?
Yeah, hi guys. Sorry I came a little later. I had a pretty rough day and I had to just sleep it out.
That's okay, my
Real.
dude. Oh, gee, man.
But yeah, I think the Flyers are stuck in the past. They're in 2008. They keep trying to make grit and sandpaper their top priority instead of skill and speed. They don't have an analytics-based approach that has allowed them to take that next step. They're one of the slower teams in hockey, and they have been for years. Their constant hirings of people like Hextall, Fletcher, Briere, Tocchet.
I
lot
like
of
talking
people
in
have-
Vancouver. I
and
really
Torts for
like
that
talking
matter.
in Vancouver.
Tortorella,
Oh,
especially.
Torts. Oh,
It was like it's
beautiful.
Torts.
And don't get me wrong, I like Torts, but he was just not the right. He's just not the right coach for today's day and for today's hockey.
What the fart are you
There's
guys
there's
doing?
a notorious misusage of people playing in the wrong positions. Michkov is the obvious one who's playing left wing instead of right wing, which is he's been playing his whole career. There
I
was
have a
Zagreus
question.
who has not been playing center, his natural position, until very recently. Dvorak's been the number one center, which is pretty sad.
Ooh.
That extension with Dvorak, on the other hand, is also something that I think shows how the Flyers are pretty out of touch with just straight up rebuilding. Because Dvorak would be a third line or fourth line center on most other teams. The prospect pool has been the drafting has been a pretty utter disaster. Jet Luchenko, Oliver Bonk, they still don't look ready to go yet. While players like the Flyers are pretty fortunate that Denver Barkey's panned out because they're third round picks, second round picks, fourth round picks. They have just not been able to develop very well. I think Barkey's been the first success story outside the first round for the Flyers since Bobby Brink. But yeah, in general, they need to start with a new approach from Comcast to Tocchet to Briere to Jonesy. This does not necessarily require a wholesale purge, although people have been clamming for a complete rebuild for a long time. But they need to restart their priorities. They need to acquire players and draft players and with an analytical mindset that is more skill based and full of speed than who has the best fighting, who has the most grit and most sandpaper, I could say. They need to prioritize the stick over the fist. The Broad Street Bullies was already a dying art by the time Ed Snyder passed on, and it's pretty much become obsolete this year. That's all I gotta say.
I think one of the things that kind of
the fact that
upsets me most about the Flyers is, as much as people want to say, hockey is more skill based. No, it's still grit and sandpaper. It is, but you need to find that good all around blend of skill and grit and sandpaper. I mean, look at one of the potential playoff matches that I think like everyone's going to be seeded for. If like the Panthers get their shit together, Panthers and Lightning are going to fucking kill each other in 7 games. That is going to be like if you've never watched hockey your entire life, watch Panthers and Lightning, man. Whew, they're going to kill each other. Like this, if anything,
that is not the matchup I thought you were going to talk about.
Yeah, I know. Shocking. Think of it. Preseason, they're killing each other. The regular season, they're really killing each other. Every game has ended in brawls and suspensions. So, yeah. It's like these two teams are gonna fucking kill each other. And like you're a hockey fan, you gotta be all in on this shit. You gotta be all fucking in. Couple things that I mean, yeah, I do have the argument. Like the thing I wondered, because like you got this young team. I really like Rick Tocchet in Vancouver, but to see him not work out, I thought he would have absolutely been working for the Flyers. I thought they were a Rick Tocchet away, but you know, maybe they gotta get something more offensive because, you know, Michkov was like, when it was the draft year, it was said Michkov was on the same level as Connor Bedard was. The same level. Right? It was the Russian counterpart to Connor Bedard was Michkov. Michkov landed in your laps. You went through hell and earth. Oh, hell and earth. To get this guy to come out way earlier than expected. Why don't you try using him as your franchise player and build around Michkov if you're the Flyers? Why haven't, like, my biggest thing with them, why haven't you even attempted that? Like, at all? Like, it's the one thing I praise the Flyers organization for. Like, they managed...
You know, I think...
Yeah, Nick.
I think my thing with the Flyers, and on like the whole debate about like grit and sandpaper versus skill and well, like speed and all that, I think grit and sandpaper can work. Like the Panthers have a whole lot of grit and sandpaper, but the thing with a team like the Panthers is the grit and sandpaper guys are also extremely good at hockey. Like they know how to play the game of hockey, and they know how to winning hockey that helps, you know, the Panthers do extremely helps the Panthers do extremely well and, you know, win back-to-back Stanley Cups. Like, you know, so grit and sandpaper can work if the talent is still there, but it seems like with the identity of like the Flyers, the grit and sandpaper guys have not had that talent, and that's bit them in the ass.
Yeah, they haven't the ability to produce it. The thing is, it's not like the Flyers have gotten young talent. They have young talent there. I just don't feel like their strategy is just utilizing them. It feels like the strategy is, oh, we got to make them gritty. We got to make we got to make them gritty, and they need to be able to fight the Penguins or some shit like that. Whereas,
no, not gonna lie, I thought you were about to say we need to make Gritty a hockey player. We need to put him on the ice.
Fuck it, why not? Why not?
You know, I think the most damning thing about the Flyers is that depending on how Anton Wahlberg works out, they might have lost the Risto trade to Buffalo, dude.
Ooh,
they might have honestly lost the Risto trade.
The sentence, losing a trade to Buffalo, should never be even uttered in the same sentence. What the fuck?
How does that happen?
How? It's the Sabres! The team that's really good at rebuilding a rebuild of a rebuild that's a rebuild. It's gonna be another rebuild. Although they might, to give them credit, they might snap that playoff drought streak this year. Give them their flowers a little bit here. They might do it this year. You don't know. They might do it this year. No, Sabres are good, but yeah, I will have a better idea what teams look like. Yeah, I think we'll have more of an idea of what's gonna happen come the trade deadline. I mean, fuck, the Leafs might be dumb enough to buy. Who knows? Who knows, right?
Yeah. All I will say is I need to have. I'm taking another opportunity to just say the Pacific Division is horrible, and I'm saying it's horrible again because I didn't get to finish my assessment of the Golden Knights because the Joker showed up. But
Sorry, my
it's all
bad.
good. I just wanted to say the Pacific Division is horrible. I just wanted to say that.
I do sincerely apologize for that. It is but you get the mental anguish of
Oh no, I get it. I
yeah.
100% get it. It's like I can just imagine. Also, especially considering that the games between the Knights and the Leafs, like the Knights in the first game came back from 2 goals down multiple times to win that game, and then
Also,
just took over in the second game in Toronto.
apparently the big thing is apparently we don't need to have Morgan Riley's a bust, and we don't need to have him on the ice anymore. Apparently that's the strat
That's the
now. That's the fucking strat.
So, by the way, I
guess.
didn't say this. I did not say this about the Golden Knights earlier, but this team is legitimately probably the best team in hockey when they're down by 2 goals. Like I will see them go down 2 goals, and all of a sudden it's tied like a couple minutes later. They are amazing down by 2.
Oh, by the way, Noah, since you're here, you want to give your thoughts about the about what the 76ers are doing and also the Super Bowl?
If not, it's all good.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Last bit of news outside of both hockey and this kind of just happened because it's kind of a just in right now. The Mountain West is
Yep.
making an aggressive push to add North Dakota State to the Mountain West only for football. Sacramento State is also trying to make an aggressive push to get in the FBS level. So yeah, some interesting
Yeah, so
things.
yeah, the Mountain West, as you said, it's in serious talks to add North Dakota State football only as a football only member, and it would start this upcoming season. So this is something that would take place right away.
Yeah, that's something I'm really excited to see because I think it's about time the Dakotas and the Montanas joined the Mountain West, and it'd be even funnier to see the Mountain West be superior to the Pac-12. I think that'd be fucking funny as hell. I don't know why the
Did
Pac-12
you know
Would be funny.
hasn't. Funny as fuck that the Pac-12 hasn't engaged with the Dakotas sooner. That's what they should have done. They didn't, which is just a total tomfoolery. But
Did you know that
yeah.
Montana is Spanish for mountain?
Chica Waka. Yeah, just a
Also,
little
by the
bit
way,
of.
same week. By the way, same week that the Mountain West also got their new media deal.
They're playing on the CW. Sorry, it's the CBS Sports Network, CW, and FS1, right?
I think it is. I believe it's
I think it's something
that.
on
I
the
will check.
something on the line of that.
Oh, sick! My state refund just got accepted.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. I think that's gonna do it for all of us today. One final
Absolutely.
one final football game of the year before we're off for 7 weeks. And then we start
Yeah, I
pick'ems
hope,
again, where it's the quest
I hope
where
you guys
I don't
like this
to own Nick
bitchin'
50.
thumbnail. I thought it.
It's a
Yeah, it was good.
thumbnail.
It was a really good thumbnail. By the way, before we go, just to, yeah, the Mountain West deal with what you said, CW, CBS networks, and Fox networks. Probably for the CBS and Fox networks, it's Fox networks. It's probably CBS Sports Network and Fox Sports 1, but it does sound like they could maybe get some games on like CBS and Big Fox.
Yeah. That is certainly
Well, I mean, what
good
really
news for
helps
them.
is that I'm pretty sure the CW is like a joint venture with CBS and Warner Brothers. That's how they got their name.
Yep.
So yeah, just a couple of fun news for college football. As you know what they say, conference realignment, fellas. That shit never ends. It's the adventure that never ends. Well, that's gonna do it for us today. We shall see you next week for we're gonna be talking a lot about the Olympic hockey. Doing a preview of do kind of our well, very delayed preview, current ongoing with the Olympics is that. I'm pretty sure Spencer will talk a lot about speed skating. And
Yeah,
yes.
I always like to give it up for the other events that go on. Like the ceremonies just happened, I believe, and
I believe the
we
team,
also had a little
Yep,
bit
earlier
of
today.
and I believe a bunch of teams.
curling also happened.
Yeah. Curling, or as I like to call it, teams that try to beat Canada at curling. Although South Korea is very good.
Hey man, I will. There's not much I will root for America for, but American curling specifically because I'm pretty sure Jared Allen made the Olympic team. If you don't remember, Jared Allen is a Hall of Fame defensive end. Yeah.
And we'll talk about the coaching hiring cycle, Super Bowl recap, and then all that fun jazz. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, please subscribe. Skyrim versus tomorrow. I believe my GM Tuesday ? And then Taegan will probably be doing the New Mexico rebuild some point next week, and then Skyrim on Thursday. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching.
Breaking Bad football teams. That's it. Breaking Bad football teams.
Hell yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And, call your mother.